Old school Pokemon here, back again with episode number 30. Probably the worst intro ever, but joined by my usual co-host, Catch 'em All Collectibles, Dan. And tonight we've got a special guest, Mason from Cardinal Gaming. Thank you for joining us tonight, Mason.
Hi guys. Hey, happy to. Always happy to talk to both of you. At the same time is even better. So there we go.
Awesome.
Very happy to have you with us tonight.
Yes, absolutely.
So before we get into the Q&A, we just wanted to, Mason needing no introduction, everyone who's here, I mean, he should be introducing us maybe, but if you want to go ahead and give your little spiel, who you are, what you do, what you've got going on this week. Pretty big week over at Cardinal.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I've had so much free time. I've kind of just, been taking it easy this week. No big deal. I am one of the owners of Cardinal Gaming. I'm a game store, game stores now in Louisville, Kentucky. I just opened my second store this week. And thank you. CardinalGaming.com is the website. We do ship nationwide as well for all of your just gaming needs in general. Pokemon, D&D, video games, Magic, all the good stuff. And I have a YouTube channel. And I talk about the Pokemon market, and also I do a game series about just owning LGS and some of the questions and kind of demystifying the stuff that goes on and kind of the decision making and what all goes into running a game store. So that is basically what is on my channel. That's
like it. Very, very good information over there. It's cool to see what goes on in an actual brick and mortar store. Nick and I obviously are both just online only retailers, so definitely a different perspective.
Yeah, I hope it really serves as a deterrent to keep people from wanting to do this, because after this week, good Lord, really the past couple months, it is a lot more work and a lot more, basically behind the scenes stuff that goes on that, God, it's a headache. And it can be, but you're doing something you love. You're dealing with stuff that you are passionate about. So there is plenty of great aspects about it, but it is still very much still a job, and you have to worry about making money and selling things and buying things and stocking things, and all those things can suck sometimes.
Yep.
Has the new store been busy since you guys just opened, or is it more so just getting everything squared away still?
We are in a different type of demographic than we normally are. So like the store is in front of like a Target. So we have kind of like that family kind of traffic that I'm not used to seeing. Normally I get like, like college age or, high school age people coming in. So a lot more families, which is nice, but a lot of regular folks too that just either say, hey, I work out here, or hey, I live out this way, and I'm so glad to not have to drive all the way across town anymore. So that's cool. That's a good thing that I figured was going to happen, and I'm glad we chose a good area where there's not a lot going on. There's not even a GameStop over there. Like I said, I got a Target and a Walmart. Nice. That's basically my competition, which isn't much because hell, the Target was cleared out the last time I was in there, so they have no cards. So I guess the demographic is or the area is hungry for that kind of stuff, and there's no supply. So that's where I come in.
So perfect combination right there.
It's been really good. Had a lot of good response to it, and the store is probably, I would say, 80% of the way there. Just got to fill out the cases and get some more product and stuff on the shelves, and then it's going to look like a proper, nice game store.
Awesome.
So hopefully next week or two we'll have it all fleshed out and looking really good in there. So I'm looking forward to that.
And nice. I saw in one of your videos, you had originally thought potentially like not having play space in that new one, right? It's a bit smaller.
Yeah. We were thinking that it would probably be too tight to be in a space that big. And of course, we're used to having, my original store is over 7,000 square feet. So a lot of space and a lot of room to fill. And at one point we have tables enough to have 120 people in there. And since all the pandemic and stuff, we've been scaling that down, and to where we were down to like 64 people could be seated in there. And we kind of just divided the store into thirds, and we have like a back house for like selling singles and stuff online now. And yeah, it was kind of like a last minute decision. Be like, you know what, we could throw 4 tables over here and sit 16 people. Why not? So yeah, we got that going, and we'll see how people respond, and if the people come out and play, just to have tables up there, it gives it a nice local friendly community aspect to it that just if you just had a regular store full of just whatever gaming stuff, having the tables in there is nice just because it makes it feel more community and with people sitting down and playing, it just adds to the atmosphere of the store, I think.
Mm-hmm. Cool. I think that's the first time I've seen the dog.
Yeah, normally he's put away.
I was gonna say that's a big cat.
Yeah.
So he doesn't whine, but he'll be good. Cats, dogs. I'll probably have a cat in my lap here before too long. It's just a bunch of animals around here.
Nice, I like it.
Awesome. Oh.
So yeah, we before we get into the Q&A, I did want to shout out one thing for anyone who's familiar with Poke Knowledge. He started this little Purple Energy campaign, I guess. He donated $20 to a local animal shelter, and then he sent the card to me. I'm going to sign it myself, and then I'm actually going to be forwarding it to Nick, who will then donate $20 to a charity of his choice, send it along. I just wanted to shout that out. He does have an Instagram at PokePurpleEnergy, where each person that gets the slab will take a picture of it near something, a landmark near them, something historic near them, something that means something to them nearby, whatever it may be. You may notice my background changed. I've got a Utica club tray, Schultz and Dooley. Probably no one knows anything about who they are.
No idea.
I live within like half an hour of the FX Matt Brewery. They make Saranac beer, which is a semi-nationwide brand. And then they make Utica Club beer, which is a bit more regional to like the Northeast. Kind of like almost like a cult classic beer around here with certain people. But I've got this, I'm going to take my picture with like some of the Steins. Anyone who's familiar with me from years ago, I used to have Steins in my eBay name because I sold hundreds of Steins, probably owned 1,000 Steins at one point or another. But yeah, I've got this little cool 1930s chalkware, like a advertising display type thing.
Nice. That's cool.
And then the beer tray, some Steins. I'm gonna do some nice little thing, have the card nesting in there somewhere. So that's gonna be my picture that I share.
Oh Jesus! I'm gonna think of something to compete with that.
Yeah. PK did like some historic pizzeria near where he is in New Haven, Connecticut. He's got written on a sheet. He's got a sheet that I ripped up a little bit when I was opening.
Oh my God.
He had the slab nicely protected, and then I just ripped open the padded envelope and took a little bit of the edge of the paper. But he's got a nice little sheet that everyone will fill out who they donated to. I'm donating to the Relay for Life. My wife's a teacher, and they have a charity drive ongoing for that right now at school. So that was just an easy choice for me. But yeah, nice little thing. If you want to check it out, go give him a follow over at Purple Energy, and we'll see how far and wide we can spread that card and see how many signatures we can squeeze onto that slab.
It's definitely a cool idea. I like it. It'll be
awesome.
a fun journey to see where it ends up.
I'm really looking forward to like the pictures that come on to the Instagram too. Like you'll get to see the little, hopefully interesting to some people, entertaining about where I'm from, about where PK is from, anyone else who has it, what they decide to share on the Instagram. So that'll be cool to follow.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's awesome. I hope it makes it my way because I would love to.
I'm sure. I got it Monday. I told PK I'm going to hang on to a few days. I want to give it a good shout out, and then I'll get it over to Nick. You figure it's going to take at least a week probably between each person.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But I'm hoping it can get to quite a few people, and I'm sure it'll make the rounds and end up at Cardinal as well. So
awesome. That's a really cool idea. I love it.
Yeah, definitely. enhancing the whole community aspect of all of it. And
And then what is he going to do at the end, or once it gets filled
oh,
out? What?
good call. I didn't mention that. So once it gets filled out, potentially talked about maybe people adding on more cards, more slabs that could be signed as well to just keep it going. But sometime down the line, once it's gone through everybody or at whatever point is deemed reasonable, I guess it's going to be auctioned, and then all of those proceeds will go to charity as well.
Oh, okay, that's awesome.
So yeah, the whole community aspect, giving to charity. I mean, there's nothing negative about it's a very positive thing for the community, and just a great thing, great idea he had, and honored to be a part of it. Thanks, PK, for sending that to me.
Yeah, very cool. That's awesome.
Wanted to get that shouted out, and then we'll dive right into the Q&A like always. We've got a long list of questions today, so everyone strap in.
Strap in.
We're going to start it off with PokeKid92. What are your favorite rarity class of Pokemon cards to collect that are in the main sets? So like not trophies or promos, thinking Gold Stars, Rainbow GX, Alt Arts, Level X. For me, my main, it's going to be maybe a weird answer, but maybe not at all. I don't know.
Oh boy. Okay.
Holo rares. Watch the Holo
No,
rare.
come on. What do you
Not
mean?
modern. Like my favorite class. It beats Gold Star. It beats everything else. First edition Holo rares from WotC, because that's what that is where my nostalgia lies. I love Gold Stars. I love the SLs from like Call Legends. I love a lot of different types of cards, but like the one, my favorite, is just WotC Holos, because that's what it was all about. Yeah, so I figured it might be like a little bit of an unexpected or controversial answer.
I don't know if it's controversial. It's just boring. Like, what do you mean? How just holo rares?
Holo rares. That's what it is.
25 years of card making and designs and different special stuff, and that's okay.
That's what I pick.
All right, so look, let me just hold your stein there for a second. I'm gonna talk. For me, I really love, if you're talking about like all time like classic stuff. Definitely Gold Stars are my pick for like the classic nostalgia level kind of answer, just because, you know, growing up, Gold Stars were just so rare. Like I don't remember ever seeing like a ton of Gold Stars. Not that Gold Star. Everybody's seen that.
The
It has
best
one
Gold
of those.
Star.
Jeez, God. But if you were flipping through a binder and it had a Gold Star in it, you had to like stop and be like, oh well, look, this he's got a Gold Star. Oh my goodness. So yeah, that was always like growing up and like buying in collections and stuff. You know, the first couple flips I had were, and the big ticket items were Gold Stars. So that's another reason why it's kind of sentimental, because I remember like flipping a couple like Gold Star Pikachus and the Mewtwo and stuff. So I just have really fond memories of those, just because that was like the first time I ever even owned them, was when I bought collections and started flipping stuff for very, very early on. So that was my like nostalgic answer. But the absolute best cards, I think, are tag teams. I love tag teams. I love when two Pokemon that are different are on a card together, like interacting, doing cool stuff. But particularly tag teams and like the alt arts of the tag teams. I love all those cards. It's just so cool as the first like alt art looking cards, and I think it really snowballed the whole momentum for Pokemon going, oh hey, these look really cool, and people are like alt arts, these alt art kind of designs for tag teams. I think that kind of spurred the entire revolution of come up with trainer gallery stuff with trainers and the alt arts just in general that we have now. I think it all started with tag team stuff, with putting those two Pokemon together and having them do cool little poses and stuff. So that's like my modern favorite of stuff would be specifically alt art tag teams.
I would have to agree with Dan.
Oh my goodness!
From a nostalgic standpoint, Watsy Holos. You just can't beat those.
The swirl chase too. I mean, come
believe-
on.
I cannot believe. Oh, I guess I can believe. I mean, I'm on catch 'em all collectibles and old school Pokemon. Of course, that's. I shouldn't be surprised. What am I doing? I'm just gonna.
No.
I'll sip my tea. Go ahead.
Like Pokemon Classics always say, classics never die.
I mean, sure.
But as far as branching out a little bit for modern stuff, I can't stand the hyper rares. I can't wait for them to stop that.
The rainbows.
Yeah.
About the rainbows.
But I really like the alt arts. I'm really enjoying those. Sleeping Tyranitar is by far the greatest one that's come out so far. But I'm having fun collecting those. I'm doing a binder set of all the different alt arts that are coming out in each set. Luckily, so far, I've been able to actually pull all the different ones from the boxes that I open, except for the ones in Evolving Skies, just because I didn't open any boxes of Evolving Skies.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm having a good time with those.
What do you got there, Dan? What are those?
You can't tell because they're all rainbow rares and they look the
I know
same.
exactly. I'm like, wow.
They look exactly the same, yeah.
I've got a small stack on my grading pile next to me, so I figured I'd grab. Got some level X, I've got some primes, I've got some legends, I got all kinds of goodies for whatever questions might come up.
See, I do like legends too. That's it. Legends are really cool too.
I was never a big fan of the any of the legends, the half art cards.
I just like
the
art.
great cards. They look too different.
They're too different. Oh my god!
I don't like.
You guys love holo rares and anything else just looks too different.
Like most things.
I almost forgot about amazing rares.
Amazing rares I like a lot, and they're so cheap now. It's crazy.
There we go.
I do genuinely appreciate and love a lot of the new stuff, but like my favorite just has to be like the original. So my favorite is that, but there are so many that are just amazing, and I really appreciate too.
Okay, I'll accept that answer.
Yeah. And Celebrations was a great set. It was cool to celebrate and relive all the. You did have the Pikachu stamp, but to relive most of the rarity classes. We didn't get everything right. We didn't get crystals. We didn't get legends. We didn't get certain things, but it was cool to see a lot of the different types over the years in one set together.
Sure.
But that was a fun question. little bit of back and forth there, a little bit of reaction out of Mason there for our choices.
I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised at the same time. I don't know what I expected.
So, next question comes from Rockets Charizard 88. On profit gained from selling, what % goes to reinvesting versus personal? That's a tough one. I'm terrible about keeping good bookkeeping numbers.
No, you're not. You break it down every month. What do you mean?
Yeah, but no, as far as like what I keep and then what goes back into the business, I have separate bank accounts. So I have a personal bank account and then a business bank account. And basically everything just goes into the business bank account. When my personal bank account starts running low, I'll just kind of throw an extra couple thousand in there and just call that good until it starts running low again. Then I'll throw another couple thousand in there. So I don't really have like a set percentage. This one goes to personal. This one stays in the business. I'd say if I had to estimate, it's probably like 60%, 70% stays with the business. The other 30-40% comes home or goes into my personal bank account. So it's the majority staying in the business for more collections. At least that's how it is for now.
So you don't pay yourself a salary or anything like that. You just whenever you need that, you're just like I'm just a little off the top.
Exactly.
Okay.
You're structured as a sole proprietor, right?
Yeah.
Dan with
Gotta do
account
the tax
level
stuff,
questions. Jeez. I take salary. So I guess as a business, to put it in a percent, heck, I don't know. Every week, every month is different. So, geez, I would say probably just to me, probably not even 10%. Like it to run this business and like keep it rolling and growing. We're very much still in the growth stage of this business. So very, very little do we actually like scoop a little off the top to pull a nick and just like put it in the old bank account. We did that one time last year. Me and my partner, we did it one time. We took a profits out of out of the business one time. But otherwise, it's just whatever the salary is. We just keep plugging along.
Yeah, so I mean, kind of similar to both in some respects. It's a function of my living expenses. I think what Nick was saying, it's a function of his living expenses, what he needs to take out, and then depending on how good his month was, sometimes that'll be X%, sometimes it'll be Y%. So I am an S corporation. I have to pay myself like an actual payroll.
Yeah.
Legally. So I have some flat amount that's just coming out every quarter or whatever frequency I decide to do that. But yeah, so it's a variable percent. If I have a really good month, then it's a lower percent because I'm taking out that flat amount. And if I have a really bad month, theoretically, I could take out more than I actually made. So hopefully I don't have too many of those months because then that doesn't bode well for the long-term health.
That is super interesting. That Nick, you operate like that. That is wild to me.
I've always been terrible.
No, hey, if it works, I don't take my advice. Shit, I'm not the one to give advice for money management. So you do you.
Even worse, I just set up a business account when I went full time back in the end of 2020. Before that, it was all just one personal / eBay, everything else. Same credit card for everything.
Oh man. Okay.
Here we go. Ready?
Oh, there we go. Yeah, nice. There we go.
For those on Spotify, I have a scrolling banner that says "not financial advice." I should just leave that on the whole time so we're covered.
Oh.
So next question, Chat BN. I think he got in here with a couple questions. Do you have any instances where you've sold large portions of inventory / collection to buy a single more expensive item? If not, any scenarios where you have considered? Absolutely. Multiple times over. I've heard other people describe this in a similar way, and I'm very much of a similar mind. Like I don't have enough money to ever own everything all at once, but I get a lot out of owning something for some amount of time along my journey. Like at one point several years ago, I completed a sealed pack art collection. Not as crazy as Nick might get with all the different variants, but I did have like black triangles. I had 4th print base, a couple of them. And then once it was completed, it was like, okay, I'm done. I can add every new set, 4 new pack arts as they come out. Sun and Moon base, what was it? 5 pack arts. That was annoying.
Yeah.
But I didn't display it. I didn't really do much with it. It was just sat in a box somewhere. And so a lot of times I get to where I just decide to move on from something. And in that case, I actually forget what the specific thing was, but something kind of came up. I think it was just a big collection buy. I think it was just a big opportunity to get a lot of like fresh inventory for the business. And so I moved that all at once. I actually sold that to Rusty at TCA Gaming. And yeah, it was in some ways it's like, man, I missed that sealed pack collection. The price would be so much higher, but I turned that into new inventory and I made profit margin on that. And I've done well with whatever I bought from that. I think more recently, one that comes to mind that did sting a little bit in very early 2020, like before the rocket emojis and all that. I sold my complete PSA 9 Gold Star collection for like $13,000, $12 or $13,000.
Ouch.
I think it peaked near 40-ish, 50-ish. I don't even know exactly, but thankfully, the proceeds from that directly, immediately went to purchasing a #1 Full Art Pikachu trophy card. So
Okay.
I did all
Yeah.
right. I did
Yeah.
all right.
Sure.
Yeah, those are like just two instances of many. One thing that I've always said too is like, I try to not sell just to have more money in the bank for like no reason other than big numbers are cool. I try to sell big things only when I specifically have, like, I am selling these gold stars to get this trophy card. I sold that pack collection to buy this new collection. I mean, having liquidity is a big thing too. Like if you need to pay your bills, if you need to pay yourself or have money to just operate the daily business, that's something tangible too. But like just selling something big that you might never get back with nothing directly to put it into is something I try to not do.
Yeah, I'm sure with you guys buying collections, like an opportunity comes along, you're like, well, I can't not accept this or make an offer on this because, that even if I maybe can't afford it right this second, I can make it happen. So I can definitely see where you guys do this, or situations where you would be doing that. My situation, if you want to know how much building out a store costs, let me tell you, we've had to sell out a lot of things to free up some capital to afford all this stuff because, good lord, the just the price for everything between just the fixtures, anything that is wood construction, just delays on things. It has been just hellacious to try to outfit the store with things that I am just so used to having on standby and being able to buy at any given moment for a reasonable price. And you go and it's 2 times, 3 times that expensive, and the cost of freight to freight it there is multiple times over what it used to be. And yeah, so we're about twice as much spent on this new store than we had budgeted for. So that's
Man.
I've definitely we've been selling off some stuff on eBay and moving things very, very quickly to try to just keep up with the hemorrhaging of money that it takes to open up a store. So yeah, lost a lot of good things, things that we maybe wanted to stock the new store with, but you got to keep the cash flowing in both directions, or else it can get very hairy very fast. So I have definitely, even as just an LGS owner, that has happened before for sure.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I've never really sold a large part of my collection or inventory for something that's more expensive as far as like a single item goes. I'm the one who would trade that single more expensive item for a bunch of little items like the pin like the league pin trade I did with Rusty. I traded him 2 first edition base blisters and a gold strip Team Deck display case for, I never counted the exact amount, but I think we said it was like 15,000 of these Pokemon League pins. So I'm more of that person. I like to deal with the cheap items, not the more expensive items. Like to work myself harder.
Yeah.
work harder, not smarter. That's my mentality.
Man, 15,000. You're talking like the little gym badge pins? Is that what you're talking about, or just
yeah.
Like
the
city regional pins and stuff like that?
Yeah, city, state, regional, and then the ones with the different gym badges, like the rectangle ones.
Yeah. Not those pins.
There were a few of those.
Some of them were there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably only like 500 or something, or 1,000.
God. Yeah, they pile up too when we buy collections. Obviously, there's always
Yeah.
people that have those and all the different kinds of, like promos and stuff that we have. Bajillion of, which is like, man, I don't need any more league promos. When I gave these to you, and now you're trading them into me. How does this work? Jeez. So yeah, I'm in the same situation where it goes away and it comes back. It's like, I'm not paying this for this, right? And they're like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Just so you know, like, I have plenty in the back that I can't even get rid of.
I'll give you 500 for the collection, and then they slap up a box of just junk. I'll give you 450 now if I gotta take that.
Exactly. Yes. Yep.
I'll read this one, Nick, because I paraphrased it very heavily, and I'm the one who does the paraphrasing, so sometimes when Nick reads those, I think it's a little bit tougher.
Yeah, definitely.
This question, what do you think about the accuracy of the pop reports going forward? CGC versus PSAs. Grading fees are kind of slowing resubmissions, so are 9s undervalued because the pops are inflated due to like people cracking and resubmitting? Chat BN feels like pop report accuracy is one of the best reasons for collecting PSA 10s.
I think people put way too much emphasis on pop reports to begin with. I don't think pop reports should play as big of a factor in pricing as they actually do. But to answer the question, I do think PSA's pop report at this point is a lot worse off than CGC's pop report. I think with PSA, where they've been grading for so long, I think there's a lot of cracked PSA 8.5s, 9s, people trying to go for a 9 or a 10. So I would say PSA's 8.5 and 9 population report is really off. But with CGC, where they kind of just got going, I can't see there being that many people cracking cards to send to PSA just because of PSA basically being shut down for the whole time CGC's been open. I don't think people are paying that 150, whatever the price point is, to get the cards graded with PSA right now. So I think for now, CGC's pop report is more accurate than PSA's.
I mean, yeah, but you don't think that CGC's pop report might just be wrong just because of people that use that as a cheap like pre-grading service and be like, oh, okay, this got a 9. Okay, I'm going to send it to PSA then because it'll probably get a 10. You don't think there's a lot of...
I think
I really
that's
don't know.
what it's going to become, but right. I think right now, where grading with PSA is so expensive, I don't think there's many people who have done that just yet.
Okay. I really don't, I don't know. I'm graded is my least knowledgeable aspect of this hobby. So I just have questions. I just want to learn. How common do you guys think is cracking slabs, especially like 9s, to resubmit? Like, honestly, like how common is it?
I think back a couple of years ago, it was fairly common.
Really?
When you could turn a card around in less than 3 months for less than $10.
Right.
And a 9, like when I was cracking Fossil and Jungle boxes left and right, I remember when Holo Lapras PSA 10 and Fossil was like $700. It would pay for more than the whole Fossil box.
Sure.
And the 9 was like 40. So I'm sure people would do it a lot. I did it on a handful of cards back then. I've probably, in the next couple weeks, it's going to change because I have a lot of blue slabs to crack. But thus far, I've probably only cracked 100 to 150 cards. And I've graded more than 10,000 with PSA, and I've graded more than 5,000 with CGC.
Okay.
So 150 over 15,000. My brain's failing me. That's 1%. That's right on 1%. I didn't know if it was 1 or 0.1. But that's only what I've graded. Additionally, like counting collections I've bought and everything, that's at least another couple thousand. So
do you think do you think resubmitting is more common for high clout cards, or is it more common for like the more standard holos or stuff from those early sets? Because it makes such a big difference between like you said, between like a 40 and to a maybe right now $400. You know, if you get 10x resubmitting it back in the day.
I think the biggest offenders would be like Lapras was one of them in Fossil, the tougher 10, T17, some of the Neo Genesis stuff, super low pop. I think those would have been primarily the culprits. The issue with today, now you've got to pay $50 to get in the door. And if it's something that's too expensive, like you're going to get upcharged from there even on a 9 potentially. So it's a lot less cost effective and it takes longer. So I think it is happening less. Theoretically, PSA has that whole Genamint fingerprint, which I don't really believe, but I think that's more for like sports cards, serialized stuff. But yeah, similar to Nick, I think pop reports are too, like if you're a 10 collector and you only will collect 10s and you need to have everything completed in 10s, obviously the pop report matters to you, because if there's only 50 of a given card in the world, only 50 people maximum can have that complete set in PSA 10. I'm just not that guy. I've never been. I'm happy to sell 10s because they look the same as my 9s that I keep in my collection oftentimes. So I'm happy with the whole grade thing. I don't really get it myself, but it helps my business. So label buyers, I'm a fan of them. But yeah, that's it is what it is. I mean, the whole illustrator thing that's been talked about recently, I've heard from some people that the 9 pop is inflated because that one was cracked out and regraded so many times. And then I've heard that all the ones in the 9 pop are accounted for. What is it, like 9 of them or 8 of them?
I couldn't tell you.
I've heard from some people that they're accounted for. I've heard from other people that it's only half that or whatever. I don't really know. Cards like that, in some ways it matters a bit more because it's such a high tier card, but in other ways maybe it matters less because there's only 39 of them to begin with, plus whatever extra copies may be out there.
I find it hard to believe though that there's like 23 in the pop report total. I find it hard to believe that there's that many already graded with PSA. Granted, it is the card to have within Pokemon, but with only 39 copies of that card total, plus a few extras maybe, I find it hard to believe that over 50% of the entire print run of that card has been graded. There's got to be copies that were thrown out back in the day, sitting in attics still.
Yeah, it's crazy to think. I mean, I don't remember how many. I think over at E4, there's some threads that really track all the fine details of it. But Picano, however you say it, there's been at least a few copies that have come from there. Whatever's going on with that situation. There's one at CGC, at least one at CGC, and then there's a handful, probably at least 3 at BGS, I think. A couple at least at BGS. But yeah, I don't know. Could be inflated pop report. At the end of the day, it's a very rare card, and it's the most expensive card in the hobby, right? In PSA 10. So next question comes from Aiden M. What do you think will be the determining factors of current and future packs being graded? Pull rates, cover art, popularity. So I've done a few videos on my channel about graded packs. I understand graded packs less than graded cards as far as the scale goes a lot. That said, I love the product. I do think it looks really, really nice. Now they don't fold the flaps over anymore. So I just think it's like a cool, hefty product. This one unfortunately came back to me.
Oh, man.
Because it's part cracked. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if it happened in shipment or whatever the case may be. But yeah, the case is cracked open a little bit. But as far as like, I actually have 100. This might be cringeworthy to some people, but I graded modern packs. So back in March of 2021, grading closed essentially for cards. The $20 tier ceased to exist, and the cheapest you could submit starting in April of 2021 was $300 per card. In April of 2021, though, pack grading was still open. You could grade packs for $25 a piece. So I took the opportunity to go to Hidden Fates, to go to Evolutions, to go to all the ones that had Charizard arts, some Pikachu, some Blastoise, Venusaur, and I sent 100 packs of like popular species to just grade them and get some kind of inventory. I still don't have those back. But one of these days I'm going to have a little bit of modern pack graded inventory. I've looked at completed listings here and there. They go for a premium. I don't know whether I'm going to get 8, 9s, or 10s, but hopefully 10s, and there's a margin there to be made. There's a premium there. I do like the look of the product, so yeah, that's mainly species popularity is what's going to be determining who grades what packs, I think.
Okay. So, I don't get grading packs. I really don't. I don't get it. I don't think it's... I understand people might want it, or you want some sealed packs, and you want to make sure that they're the real deal for sure. Okay, cool. Grade your packs. That's awesome. I think a lot of people are pushing to get rid of the numbered and just authenticate the packs, and make sure that they're legit. I would like to see that, because the numbers mean they mean nothing from all the people saying that, same pack, same box, same package the same way and shipped to them, and they got different grades. It doesn't make any sense to me to give these things a number. It's either it's real or it's not, and especially for the stuff that you can weigh, that they're all light packs, so there's not really anything about the pull rates having to do anything with that. No one's going to crack that slab to open it, because we all know they're weighed and they're going to be light packs. So if you just want a big, beautiful collection of packs and you want them protected in a piece of plastic, I think cool. But as far as like determining what you should grade, I guess Dan did it right, and that'd be the way that you would do it. Is that if you can get it for cheap and sell them for more, then that's what you should be doing. I really don't. I have for graded stuff, especially packs, graded packs. I don't have an opinion.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of grading packs or buying graded packs. First off, the logic behind 8, 9, or 10 does not make any sense to anyone. So that's the biggest reason. And then secondly, when it comes to my pack collection, I am definitely a completionist, where I have to have all the different artworks, all the different variants. So it would just take up way too much space. Those cases, they do look nice now that they changed to their new case style, but the cases themselves are just still too big. So I think that's the biggest reason why, or one of the biggest reasons why I'll never get into graded packs, is because I'd have to have them all graded, and then that would just take up way too much room.
So you have a collection, Nick, is what you're saying?
Yes, I do.
And they're all raw packs, raw.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
If you did slab them, would they all have to be the same number? I want to see
that would drive me.
I want to see. Yeah,
I couldn't deal with different grades.
Good luck with that. Getting all the same number.
Can you submit packs and just have them be authenticated? Is that a thing?
I believe so. I don't think I've seen it, but I would imagine similar to cards, you could do it.
Okay. All right, that's fine.
Is PSA still grading packs right now?
I think it's $100 a pack is the cheapest.
Okay.
What about graded coins? I think they grade pins too.
Coins is another one. That I don't understand that one either.
I've heard the riches are in the niches.
There's so many though. There's just so many. There's people with buckets of those coins. So many of those coins. It's ridiculous. Do not buy coins thinking that they're going to be anything crazy.
But they're
No.
pretty and sparkly and
Sure.
shiny.
Yeah, they sparkle a lot in the big giant totes that your safari zones of the world have, full of totes just of coins. So yeah,
So many of them are such low pop, going back to our population thing.
definitely. There's definitely low pop on graded plastic coins. I'm sure there is.
I could actually see the coins staying low pop because those things scratch really easily, which I would assume eliminates the PSA 10.
Mm-hmm.
I will say when I submitted probably 150 coins like a couple years ago. Yeah.
Why? What do you mean?
If you can make a margin on it, if there's a
Sure.
market
I mean,
for
yeah,
it,
you're
I'm
right.
I'm gonna fill that demand. Someone's got to service that demand, right?
So how much were you selling these coins for?
I just shipped the other day. This is a PSA 9. This is from the Relentless Flame theme deck. You used to be able to buy theme deck cases. Theme decks aren't really a thing now. Now it's the V Battle deck.
Yeah.
But you could get I could get a case of 8 theme decks for 60, I think. So like 750 a deck. And like Team Up specifically was crazy because it had a Blastoise deck and a Charizard deck.
Yeah.
Grading the crystal or the Shattered Ice Holo and then grading the coin. But the thing is with the coins, like the cards, I could maybe grade half of them. The other half weren't good enough condition. The coins, I could only grade 10% of them. Like if I had 100 Charizard coins, I'd go through them to see which ones were gradable because the quality control is just pretty bad on them because
they're cheap coins that
they're coins that you're going to flip in a game and it doesn't really matter that much. Yeah. But
okay, so how much were you selling them for?
Oh yeah, I didn't cover that. I just shipped the other day. I think it was $60 for a PSA 9 10-cent Charizard.
I mean, okay,
coin.
it's Charizard. It's a coin. I mean, it's a 9. Okay.
Tens for a little over 100.
Of course they do.
Yeah.
Of course they do, Dan. Of course.
I would not recommend buying those coins at those prices, but if you go on eBay, I happen to be the cheapest one available.
Look, if they're selling, I'm the idiot. So
super slow. Like I'm the only one listed for the handful I have left, and I might sell one every few months. But
that just tells me you sold all the rest of them. So that's I'm a bigger idiot.
There's different plays in business. There's the razor thin margins that's just like quick and liquid, and like these are the slow burn, very long term, but like high margin when they sell. You got to have a little bit of everything, right?
Definitely helps. Yeah, I would not take coins to a convention to sell. I would not.
No, and I won't be either.
Probably not.
So next question comes in from Nostalgianomics. This one's highly paraphrased, so I'll read it again, and then Nick can go.
Go for it.
He was speaking to our last podcast. Great insight on the future of grading. I think so many of us are so stuck on what to do with our singles. Do we hold? Mason would say just sell them now, raw, because that's what they were intended to be, I think. But do we hold out for PSA lower prices, or do we bite the bullet and go with CGC now? It's tough because at PSA, you get premium in a PSA 10 over a CGC 9.5. Can you get the CGC 10 maybe? Are they grading easier? That whole thing. There's a lot of moving parts in it, but basically, like, what's your plan now for cards that you have graded, Nick? Are you sending some to CGC? Are you waiting, doing a little bit of a mix?
So I've been absolutely terrible with my YouTube channel the past couple weeks, but I don't think I've uploaded a single video in like 2 or 3 weeks at this point. But I know I'm slacking.
You don't have the podcast to save you every other week now.
Wow.
It's really affecting the channel here. But I did one video where I said I was done grading with CDC because I got a ton of 8.5s in that return. And then I heard this news that CDC was grading a little bit easier. So, and their turnaround times were like 2 or 3 weeks. So I had to give them another shot. And so I sent them a whole bunch of the classic collection celebrations and then some Hidden Fate Charizards, just like the tin promo and the ultra rare version. And I was actually pleasantly surprised with the grades that I got back. I got back a lot of 9s, couple 9.5s. I got two pristine 10s out of that submission of, it was like 150 cards. So CGC grading standards have definitely lowered in my opinion, which is a good thing too. But so I think that's going to be my plan moving forward. Modern stuff, modern Japanese can go to CGC for that kind of cheap grading, quick turnaround time. And then anything higher end, WotC, that stuff I'm going to hold on to and send to PSA whenever they reopen up their next lowest tier.
Okay, so you're sending modern stuff to CGC, like celebration stuff.
Yeah.
Celebrations did not have a great print quality. I think that we can all agree on that.
It was actually tough.
Yeah, they're not good. There's just too much variety in the texturing of the patterns, I think, and it messed up the card print of it. So they just come out just looking terrible. Most of them do. So you're sending those. How much to get them graded at CGC? You said, or
right now it's $13 with the membership, or $15 without it.
Okay.
But I think, you don't have to have that membership.
Yeah. So for $13 a card, you're sending these celebrations cards that are like $3 or $4 a piece, and you're selling them for how much?
Well, like it was the more popular one. So like Blastoise, Venusaur, Mew.
I mean, even Blastoise is down to like $6 or $7 raw at this point.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I got them listed on eBay for between $40 and $50.
Okay.
I've only sold one of them so far. It was a Blastoise for $35.
Okay. That's just a lot of work, man. That's just so much work and so much effort to just make, $15 off the top of. This is we've gone back to the point to where why so many LGSs just don't bother with grading. It's not. It's especially for modern stuff. I just think if you're going to send it off, you may as well just wait for PSA. Me personally, that is very much if you're truly in these things for the investing purposes. Nick is in it to do the quick flip. The whole point of CGC is to do it quickly.
Mm-hmm.
If you care about and you have truly rare things that you want to submit and get the biggest bang for your buck and get the return back, PSA is what you have to hold out for, I think. I mean, Dan will get it his time, but I just don't think if you're specifically speaking to Alex of Nostalgianomics, I just don't think there's any situation where you want a CGC label on anything if you are wanting to hold it long term. I just don't.
I think the exception to that would just be the perfect label. Like if you're going for that, if you've got something really pristine, but then in that case, maybe BGS for the black label.
Yeah, but even then, CGC 10 isn't worth a PSA 10, so you might as well just send it to PSA and get the 10.
CGC 10 perfects do get a decent premium over PSA 10s.
Okay.
Less liquid, it's going to take longer to sell them, but I think that's been holding true. Maybe we haven't seen the full reaction to like CGC potentially grading easier. Maybe that will go away to some extent, but it'll be interesting to see how that develops. My answer is very similar to Nick though for this. Like I'm going to make a video on it probably next week. CGC short term, it's a play because at PSA, it's $50 for a couple months. CGC right now, I've seen anecdotal experiences of people turning them around in like 11 calendar days, a bulk submission. So if you can, pay $13 a piece, get the cards back within 2 weeks, a month. And sounds like Nick on the cards that he sent, I mean, you want to be careful about what you send. You can't send everything probably. But if it's getting 9.5s, if it's getting 10s on occasion. I mean, there's a play there on certain things, but generally speaking, the better stuff is best held for PSA, almost certainly. Yeah, that's really where we're at. Really interesting to follow along PSA and where we're headed. I think it's going to be a while still. Like there's a lot of stuff that I need $10 grading on a lot of my stuff that I have to make it make sense. And I actually have a shout out James, ZNG Emporium. We had a bet go down the other day in Discord. I think I put up a PSA 10 Unlimited Pikachu from Jungle against his, I don't even remember what it was, but he thinks that $10 grading will be open to the public before the end of 2023.
Oh,
I don't.
100%.
I don't think so. I think it'll be 2024 or beyond.
Not a chance. You just lost yourself a Pikachu.
Lotteries might be there, but the thing is, like, it's been since March since that tier was open, and in March it was $20 per card. Last time it was open at $10 per card was February of 2021. How many basketball rookies are out? How many football, baseball, every sport, every game? The really good ones are going through at 50 plus. But like, how many people just have monster boxes and piles of stuff they've been saving for over a year? Like, so many people are saying, when PSA opens, I'm sending this. When PSA opens, I'm sending that. I'm actually shocked $50 still isn't open to the public. We've been doing $50 lotteries for like 4 months now. I would have expected that to be open to the public, but it's still not.
I think that's because they're focusing so much attention on the backlog.
They are doing.
It's just easier for them to do these lotteries and have it go through middlemen.
80% of their capacity is still going to the backlog per their podcast. Less than 4 million cards remain in the backlog per their podcast. But still, the rate that's going, following along the trajectory of the backlog, it'll still be late this year by the time that's gone. And I just think there's going to be so much resistance. Basically, they're grading 10 to 12 million cards a year. So the question becomes, okay, by the end of this year, the backlog is gone. They still have, for our bet, they still have about 12 million cards capacity to grade. So will there be enough demand at $15 to $50 to consume that whole demand? My bet is yes. James's bet is no. One thing that could make me lose that I'm a little bit worried about, if they're willing to make their turnaround time go north of 90 days again, like they could open $10 tomorrow and I could lose the bet, but you ain't getting that back until 2024. We're going to go back to 18-month turnaround times. So it's an interesting bet. I'm betting a $50 unlimited jungle card on it. Nice little friendly wager. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I lean towards it's going to be a while. Nick's, I've heard some people, I don't know what data they're looking at. I don't know where they're getting it from, but I've heard people pretty convinced that you're going to be able to send a card for $10 this year. Like I'm talking about next year is our bet. People think you'll be able to do it this year for $10 or less and get it back within 90 days. I've been following the backlog for a year now. I mean, I've got nice charts and I've got a couple videos and I've done a couple things in Patreon about it. The numbers just aren't there for that to happen. It'll be interesting to follow though.
I don't think PSA was ever going to go back to $10.
You don't think so?
No.
Part of what we have going on too, inflation. Inflation is actively, 9% or whatever, and raw material costs are going up, labor costs are going up. Like it's a very high margin business. They make a lot of money. As recently as what would it have been, like October 2020, I think it was, they were grading for $7.50 a card. So clearly their cost must be $4 a card or less. How much have their costs risen? They probably could still grade for $10 a card today or a year from now and profit, but it's the supply demand thing. If the market
Yeah.
has enough demand to consume their full capacity at 12 million cards a year at $15 a piece, what incentive does PSA have to go lower?
That's exactly my point. I think, you know, the market for graded cards has fundamentally changed, especially for Pokemon, but just overall for every grading game. It's become demystified. It's become, with them being so open and being able to explain the process and what exactly goes on and all this stuff. It's not as scary to submit cards anymore. Not everybody, people can do it themselves and make it very easy. Uh, I guess BGS doesn't make it easy, but everybody else makes it easy enough to hop on there and fill out your information and send off your cards. I just think the demand is going to be so strong, even at like $20. You'll see the same demand at $20 than you would at $10. So why lower it? That's just my take on it.
That was
I think. Go ahead.
The really interesting thing going back to last year. So in February, it was $10 a card, and they were getting a lot. They doubled it for March to kind of try to stymie submissions. A waterfall tsunami came in, and
didn't matter.
People saw the writing on the wall. Nick, if you want to go ahead, I can actually pull up a chart on it.
My thing is, it was a different time back then. Pricing was so much different back in February, March compared to now. I just think back at when PSA originally shut down, and we were talking about our backlogs for PSA. Both of us said at that time that we had a decent bit of cards to send at $100, $50, $20, $10. Now, I sent a few cards off at $100. I sent a little bit more off at $50, but it wasn't anywhere close to what I originally said I was going to send off because of how quickly and how much pricing went down on all of those cards. So now my sweet spot is going to be that $20, $25 tier. I got a whole bunch to send to PSA, assuming pricing stays consistent. But I think when they reopen that kind of bulk tier, whatever their price comes back at, they're going to have a huge tsunami of cards going to them. But I think they're very quickly going to run out of submissions until they get back to that $10 tier. Because there's a lot of cards that I'd like to grade, but it just isn't worthwhile unless you can get to that $10 tier.
Can you see my mouse too, or no?
Yes, we can see it.
So yeah, like this is where we were. Like where I'm at here is January 1st, 2021. The whole 2020 boom from October on. These are numbers. I use numbers pulled from PSA podcast. I use numbers pulled from Nat Turner himself. So these are real numbers. This is actual data from PSA on what the backlog looked like, how it proceeded. The bulk of this was done. So like here to here, where it got really nuts, was done at $10 per card or less. Here, this last like vertical line where it's straight up, this is March of 2021. At the start of it, it was 10 million cards. They said, this is insane. We can't do this. We're going to double our cost to 20. In one month, it went from 10 to like, it's weird because PSA, I use their articles, I use their source. Anywhere between 10 and 14 is where it peaked. Right around 12 was the most common number. So they received more like in that 1 month at 20 per card. And prices are down on a lot of things since then. The market has changed quite a bit. But like given that many cards came in 1 month, I just think as you start to open up, like at 50, I sent personally, at 50, I sent less than 50 cards. At 25, though, I have a few hundred I could send. At 20, I have hundreds more. At 10, I can send everything. everyone can send everything. At like 10 is just like Mason said, the market has fundamentally changed. I don't really understand it fully, and I don't really agree with it. But the market has just decided that they like to pay for like plastic. You put it around a pack, you put it around a coin, you put it around a card, they go nuts for it. So at $10 is just a massive psychological barrier. 12 to 15 to 20, that's where I feel like short to intermediate term, I feel like we will get. I wouldn't be shocked by the end of 2023 when our bet is like at the final stages. I wouldn't be surprised to see 12 to 15. 10, maybe within 2 to 5 years is where I'm at personally. But maybe inflation, maybe raw material costs, labor costs, maybe those will just make it never make sense again. I don't really know.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it being like 15, and then them doing like specials when they're particularly low on supply, or things start slowing down, where they're just like, all right, bring them on, let's go. We finally caught up, or it's we've got all these people sitting around not doing anything. Let's go.
Yeah, because an interesting kind of case study on this for the short term, right, is CGC.
Yeah.
They're turning bulk around in less than 2 weeks. They're turning higher levels around in like a day or two. They're browsing YouTube, doing whatever in their spare time. Like
watching our podcast.
Yeah. Hey CGC, how's it going? I'm gonna send some cards to you next week. They're like looking for work to some extent, but I don't think they feel the pressure to have to lower prices yet. As PSA comes down to 25, they'll probably respond to that by bumping down a little. But like we might get into a long-term steady state where CGC is the 10 and PSA is the 15. It's going to be a very dynamic situation. It's going to be fascinating to watch it unfold. I love numbers. I love data. I love making nice little charts in Excel. So I'm looking forward to it, but I have no idea where it's going to be, but I placed my bets, literally. So we'll see where it goes from there.
Yep.
Good question, though. Led to some good conversation there. Here's one for you, Mason. Directly. I don't know if you want to.
I mean, you want me to read it? I can read it. Absolutely.
You read it and go right for it. Yeah.
Your average player says, "Hey, Mason. Hey, how's it going? As you own a card store, what makes you invest in new card games, and what are telltale signs you look for?" So I'm not 100% sure if you mean like with like Kickstarter games, or maybe just like new released games that maybe my distributor says, "Oh, hey, this new property has a new TCG coming out. Would you want to carry it?" That kind of thing. I guess it both applies. So, a vast majority of the stuff that I carry that is not the big three, like Magic, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, I got into because of people requesting them. So that's like the number one way where people say, "Oh, hey, have you heard about Digimon TCG? You ever thought about carrying that kind of stuff?" And if I get enough people coming up to me and asking about that, I was like, okay, well, I mean, if people are asking me for it, there must be some sort of at least local market enough to where it's either not being met by other stores, which means there's opportunity for me there to come in and sell the product, or there's just enough interest overall that people are looking for this stuff out there. And I do get stuff like, particularly like Weiss sets, for whatever the flavor of the month they put out, whatever anime they choose to make a card game. People ask me, "Oh, hey, you getting any more of the whatever anime, Weiss Schwartz?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll get some. Since you asked for it, I'll look and see if I can get it." So a lot of it is just by just customers asking, but there is certain things like the Final Fantasy TCG. Like I don't carry the box sets for all the releases of all those. I call the set boxes, but I will pick up something like a 2-player starter deck for Final Fantasy TCG, just because something like that, a casual person is going to walk up and want to. They'll see that and be like, "Oh, Final Fantasy has a TCG? What? That's crazy! I want to play it." Just because it's a game at that point that they can open up real quick and play against each other, and it's just casual fun. has characters they like on it. So I'll carry stuff like that as opposed to just like buying into just the entirety of all these set boxes that could go up and down, or I could lose my ass on at any given time. If I pay $80 at distribution and then that box is on eBay for $55, I'm not interested. And Final Fantasy in particular is one of those that does sometimes do that. So that's a lot of it. And yeah, Kickstarter stuff. I'm not interested in getting in at like the LGS level of a Kickstarter. I think there's just too much risk involved there. You're asking a lot of somebody to carry a game that has no merits at all and has no community for it, has no scalable interest or notable interest. There's no like word of mouth, or especially with Kickstarter games, there's no major IP behind them. Like there's nothing that I want stuff that a casual person is going to walk in, and even if they don't play cards, that they'll be like, oh shoot, man, they got Digimon has or My Hero Academia has a TCG. I didn't know that. I'll buy a couple packs of that, or I'll buy the starter deck or 2-player deck for that. So that's a lot of the things that I look for, is just accessibility and some catering to the casual crowd as far as things that might be popular. And yeah, Kickstarter stuff I don't get into. And a lot of people were asking me about MetaZoo at first, of why I don't carry that stuff when it was super hot, super popular. And the easy answer is because I can't put a $500 booster box on my shelf and expect people to want to buy it. That's just not a realistic expectation. Or especially if I had like Kickstarter boxes, I can't put that in my case with $3,000 price tag on it, and some random person is going to walk in and want to buy it. It's just not. It's not a realistic expectation. If other than I just wanted it in there just for flex purposes, and flexing doesn't make me money. So yeah, that's where I stand on a lot of Kickstarter stuff like that. It's just when you have a store like mine, you want to keep things. The barrier of entry has to be really low, or it has to just have general communal interest of people that want to pick it up. That's what I look for.
I don't know if you want to touch on that, Nick, about what might get you into other games, or
I've wanted to branch out a little bit. I remember playing Yu-Gi-Oh back in the day growing up. After I got out of Pokemon, I got really big into Yu-Gi-Oh and playing Yu-Gi-Oh, and I actually really did enjoy that. So one of my
Nick seems like a Yu-Gi-Oh player. Just
one of my eventual goals is to get back into that and start learning that again, branching off into selling those cards again. But for right now, Pokemon just that keeps me busy enough. I've already got more on my plate than I can handle. So for now, it's just going to be Pokemon. Occasionally, I'll get an email from one of my distributors saying there's a new set coming out, or something new coming out. Like just recently, I heard about the 2022 Topps Chrome Star Wars cards, and I did pick up a few cases of those booster boxes just because I absolutely love Star Wars. The Topps Chrome releases that they do are usually really, really good. So if nothing else, I'll have those for myself. But I can see those doing decently well. So I did pick some of those up to hopefully sell a few of them, and then set some for myself. Set some back for myself too.
Yeah, fairly similar to Nick, except when I was younger, it was Pokemon only. I had some cousins who played a little bit of Magic, so I've like more as a collector than a business. I bought a few Magic singles here and there that were a bit nostalgic for me. I thought I had some nearby. I usually have everything nearby. I have some of my singles from the beta pack that I bought. But yeah, MetaZoo I'm into a little bit. Similar to Nick, like I just I can't even keep up with what I have, and I'm trying to get through with Pokemon. So I'm like 95% Pokemon, 5% MetaZoo / we do have a question coming up for Fortnite.
Oh,
I'll talk about that more there. But yeah, my only nostalgic connection is Pokemon. If and when, like talking 1 to 5 years, somewhere in there, if and when I decide to majorly branch out, in my mind, I would want to go back into like coins a bit more. I I had my start before I got back into Pokemon. I've had my eBay account for like 18 years. 18 years ago, I sold some of my first video games because I went to like EB Games and they offered me 10 cents a piece on them. So I sold them myself on eBay, and I did video games at one point, coins at one point, Steins and Breweriana at one point. So yeah, I might get back into a little bit of that before I branch out into a different TCG too majorly, but we'll see where life takes me. Who knows? Your average player had another one. If you know you can hold a booster box for another month after you get it and sell it for $40 more than what you can now, would you wait to sell or sell now for cash flow? If I knew that, not only would I hold it the additional month, I would go out and buy as much as I could feasibly get. Like say Brilliant Start. One, I guess to preface this, I'm never gonna know that. I don't think. Like there could be certain things that feel like they're gonna be hot, and when Battle Styles came out, I dumped my first cases for $900. I still can't believe that was a thing that happened. When Evolving Skies came out, and just the way that we were, like I only get 4 cases, 6 cases of each release, not too many. But I do at times, like I think this is going to be one, because I see the schedule. Wave 1, I'm getting this. Wave 2, I'm getting this. Wave 3, I'm getting this. Sometimes I do say, well, right now they're 130 on eBay. I think if I wait a few weeks, they might be like 150. So I kind of do play that game a little bit. But in this specific scenario you laid out, like if I knew I could wait a month or had a really good suspicion that I could and get an additional 40, like $40 on a booster box is massive. When you're talking the difference between getting 100 and 140 or 140 and 180, I would wait every time. I would figure out the cash flow. 1 month is easy enough to bridge with like a high limit credit card. So yeah, I would wait.
yeah, well, yeah, like you said, there's no way of knowing a month that things are going to go up. Like with Brilliant Stars, I had a good idea because I knew that the market was still in that state of way, and that Brilliant Stars is such a good set that it was going to absolutely sell out. And because the trainer gallery, that people were going to rip packs, and that we were going to move through the product, absolutely. And I still sold the product on release for whatever the price was. I didn't wait. I can do so much more money with that $40 and buy so much more in that month with that $40 that I will sell out and use that money to flip forward every single time. It doesn't matter to me. As a business, that's the dream goal, is that people see that there's momentum in a product and I can move it right away.
And
That's what I'm looking for.
You have a different dynamic too,
course,
where
yes.
like if you decide, hey guys, I'm going to literally hold back my whole allocation of this Astral Radiance, Brilliant Stars, whatever it may be, you're gonna have a lot of pissed off people who like aren't getting their cards to play. Like if you're unwilling to sell it at or near market price.
Well, sure, yeah.
Yeah,
And I know of some online only places that did do that, and with Brilliant Stars, and that they are moving through it now, which good for them. But yeah, I am not in a situation where I can hold things, and I will take that. I will forego that $40 to make hopefully much more on that same amount of money here and now, as opposed to the month that it has to sit and wait. We used to do that. We used to do that a lot. We put like a couple cases back of stuff just in case something did take off like that. But then again, like, okay, if it takes 6 months for like a Magic set to mature and get more expensive than what we paid, or what it would be, on release, we could do so much more with that money in that 6 months. It just doesn't make sense. So we stopped doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with you there, Mason. I'm pretty much the same way with my small allocations of modern product. It's always sell right at least for me. Try and get rid of it as quickly as possible. And then with the subsequent waves of product, that's when I'll if it's well, whatever set I've been doing lately, I'll set 2 cases aside for the very long term. And then if it's a better set like Brilliant Stars, Evolving Skies, I'll put those up on eBay at a higher price point and just kind of let them sit for a little while. But with that big initial release and kind of the first product that I get from my distributor, it's always get it in and sell it immediately or break it down into singles, whatever.
And I know he mentioned booster box here, but I guess an interesting case study and a very hot topic lately has been like the ultra premium collection. Do either of you have any of those left? Did you play kind of a different game with the highly collectible, well, I don't want to say highly limited. They printed a lot of them, but much more limited than like a booster box, fairly less likely to get a reprint. Like, do you have a different strategy if we say it's a UPC?
Not really. The same way when there's pressure and people know that it's going to be an exclusive item or a limited item and there's going to be a limited amount of them, that is all the better for me to move them quickly and offload them. And, if I can, and I am been established enough with my distributors that I pretty much get first dibs if there's any slush left over, that I can get that kind of stuff and keep it moving if I really wanted to, with the later on leftovers that may potentially shake loose. And there was a couple with UPC that did had some left over from accounts that maybe just didn't take them or closed or just whatever. Because when you have to request things months and months in advance, things can happen, or things just get stuck in limbo and then they have slush of them. But yeah, no, I move them along.
With the UPCs, I did treat those differently. I want to say I got 12 for 3 cases. So yeah, 12. So 12 total on, and then I didn't get any wave 2, wave 3, whatever. So with those, I did keep 1 case sealed and sold the other 2. Because I thought pricing was really, really good on those, which it was compared to what we were able to purchase them at. And then I actually did go when pricing started falling on the UPCs. I did go back and buy 2 more cases, which I timed that one perfectly because I was able to pick those up for like 200 to 220 a piece. So that one worked out really well for me, which usually doesn't happen. But I did play that one right. So I will say that.
Yeah, I don't even remember how many UPCs I got. It feels like so long ago, but it wasn't that long ago. It's crazy what that product has done.
Yeah, I'm trying to think how many I got. I probably had 80 total that I got.
Nice.
Everything all together.
Yeah, I don't even remember.
That sounds right to me.
I want to say you got 24. I want to say you got like double what I got.
I probably did tell you, yeah.
Man,
I don't know why I can't remember myself. But I still have a few cases worth that I'm just slowly like putting one out every so often. Very no set schedule as to when to do it, but just slowly bleeding them out, I guess.
Are you going to reach a point where you just set them back for a while?
I don't know. I'm undecided on that still. One thing that's really intriguing to me, I listen to most of Rusty's content. You're aware he's like, I don't think he's bought any too recently, but he's mentioned in various videos he wants to set 100 back. So like, I don't know how much he got originally, and if he sold any, or if he kept his whole original allocation and then he's buying more on top of it. I don't know the exact mechanics of it all, but yeah, he's going for 100 to like set back. I don't know till when, but he's been buying some from the open market, which was interesting to me. I don't have nearly that many. I might have like 12 to 15 left. And I'm not blowing them out at today's prices, which feels kind of crazy because the price is so high. It almost feels like I should just blow them out, get that money, and then continue on. But I don't know. I really do love the product. I love celebrations. I love the product. The metal cards are really cool. Like, they're not coins, but like that background coins. I was a chemical engineer. Just metal is cool. I don't know. Some people hated the metal cards.
That's funny.
But metal is just so cool. And it's like super cheap. It's not like it's gold or silver or platinum, or it's not like a really cool metal like that, but it's still cool. My dad's like a welder fabricator, so yeah, metal is just cool. But yeah, I just figured it would be interesting to kind of see if you differentiate booster boxes to more premium product like that, and I guess we got to hear everyone's take on that. Another one for you, Mason, if you wanna.
Oh, let me pull it up. Give me a second.
Mason's got us minimized.
he was over there playing a game.
I was looking at if I could look and see how many I had or how many.
I was doing that on my second screen.
I lost. It only tracks for 90 days, so I had lost it already. Andrew H. Hi, Andrew. Andrew was recently at the first TCG Con. That was what it was called, TCG Con, here in Louisville. What are your thoughts on how this compares to bigger cons? Is it worth attending? Do you think more cons will come to Louisville? Interesting. Hello, local person, by the way. Very cool to know that there's people that are reaching out to you to talk to me. That's nice. Yeah, TCG Con was interesting. Just for a quick rundown, so people know what I'm talking about. It was mostly for competitive play for Magic, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! And they had a lot of different games in there. Even like games like Flesh and Blood had some time, and Vanguard had some time in there. So mostly for competitive players, but there were a lot of course, vendors and things, people that were selling like play mats and probably some graded stuff. And they are out of Florida, the company that runs this TCG Con, and they travel around to mostly southern areas right now. But obviously they've been growing it, and that was the first year that they came here. Yeah, I think it was. We had a lot of fun vending it. It was a good event. We had a pretty good amount of sales. We had a lot of buying opportunities for playable stuff, which was nice. And yeah, it was a success for us to go and do that. And then we of course made some connections with some other vendors and talk to them and see how they were feeling on market things and how different TCGs were going. So that was very good information too. That was really fun. But I think if you're a casual collector, just somebody that wants to collect cards, an event like that probably wouldn't be really something that would interest you. It was mainly really just for competition and higher level competing and stuff. So I just don't think the general interest would be there just for like people just come, and if you have interested and it's just in Yu-Gi-Oh or Magic or whatever casually. But it is interesting that Louisville is so centrally located. We are the UPS hub for the world. So UPS, if you have a package and it ships through UPS, more than likely it's going to come through Louisville because we are very centrally located in the east, and I think they say it's something like a 4-hour drive to like 80% of the population in the Midwest. So that's kind of like a huge deal. It's very easy to logistically move things around from Louisville. So we have Indianapolis in one direction, we have Cincinnati in one direction, we have Nashville in the other direction. We're just surrounded by other big cities that it would make sense if you wanted to hold a big event that had some draw power that to hold it here. So I'm kind of surprised that there's not as much going on here in Louisville. And from somebody that has dabbled in the idea of doing a type of convention like this, we just don't have a lot of great convention space here in Louisville, which is a bummer. But that seems to be the main issue is just it's either exorbitantly expensive to put on this type of event or it's logistically just not easy to do. And the city owns all the fairgrounds and all the large convention spaces, so they don't make it easy either on a lot of people. So yeah, it's interesting to have them stop in, but it was a good convention and a lot of fun to vend out there for sure.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a growing demand for these type of in-person conventions.
Sure.
At least I've only ever done the Collecticons, but even those, every show has gotten bigger and bigger. More people are going, more vendors are going. So I think there's definitely a good demand for these type of shows, and they're a lot of fun too. So.
Yeah, you do need the big convention center though, and maybe Cardinal Gaming 3.0 will have to be like a 1,000,000 square foot convention center.
1,000,000 square foot. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what would have to happen for that to take place, but I'm venturing that is probably not a real possibility. But I am more than happy to maybe vend some other smaller local things and travel a little bit. That is something that we've talked about wanting to do more and more if we ever get the free time anymore to do it. But yeah, I mean, I do love vending conventions. Conventions are a lot of fun. Again, networking with them, especially with local people, is always a good opportunity to reach out to people. So yeah, the conventions in general are lots of fun. It's just both for the vendors side of it and for people obviously attending. I think it's just going to get bigger and bigger.
I just looked up quickly Orange County Convention Center, where Nick and I went to the Orlando Collecticon.
Yeah.
2.1 million square feet of exhibition space.
Yeah.
Second largest convention center in the U.S. Crazy.
Yeah, that place was massive.
Yeah, we have, I think our big convention center, they say the same thing as like the 6th or 7th largest in the country. And it is also huge. It also has like a theme park like attached to it.
Man.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird.
This says total square footage is 7 million, with 2.1 million of that being exhibition space. That's insane.
It's huge. It's just huge amounts of space.
Yeah. Cons are a lot of fun though. Are you you're looking at Denver, right? Collecticon?
I'd love to go for sure.
You're not too far from Charlotte either?
Well, I kind of got a lot going on right now. Denver would be more feasible where I could work it. But yeah.
Just because of the time of year. It's a bit further, right? But it's probably a better...
Oh, everything's just a couple hour flight away. That's not a big deal. But
yeah.
Yes, just the fall will be a much better time for me to be able to sneak away for a weekend as opposed to like right now.
Yeah. Reasonable, very reasonable.
Yeah.
I think it's your turn, Nick.
Oh boy. So our next question, Jamie Chris asked, do you guys have inventory that's been sitting for a long time, a year or longer, And what do you do with it? Put it on auction or sale, or just keep letting it sit there? So I definitely have inventory that's been sitting on eBay forever. Um, I list everything on eBay. So like any like common, uncommon single cards, I just expect to have listed on eBay forever because the demand for those cards, you're not going to be selling those cards every day, every week, whatever. You're just waiting for that one person to come along and buy that card. But on like higher end stuff, um when stuff starts to sit on eBay for a while, I will start becoming like a little bit more lenient on offers that I accept that people send in. So people send an offer, I might accept it. I might counter offer a lower price than I was counter offering originally, or I might start sending offers out to people on those items that have been sitting for a while. Occasionally, like once or twice a year, I do a sale with my eBay store, put everything on sale. Those items that have sat for a while are marked down more than items that I had just listed on eBay. But outside of that, I don't do auctions for my own stuff. I'm not a big fan of auctions just because you have no control over what your item's going to sell for. So for my own stuff, I just let it sit there until it sells. I do try those few sales tactics to get the item to sell, but if it doesn't, it'll just sit there until someone buys it.
I wanted to go on and see how many of a certain item I had. Uh, I have 351 Battle Styles Elite Trainer boxes
Nice.
that I've
Man,
been sitting on for.
it's a hot product right there.
We're coming up on a year on that stuff, and as we inch closer and closer to the rotation date for Battle Styles, I start to get a little antsy when I see that big of a number. So we got to do something. We got to get it. Normally, if something sits, even like on eBay, we don't sell tons and tons on eBay, but when we do like one 30-day cycle of it, and then we start either lowering the price or we'll send it to auction or whatever, just to kind of get rid of it. And we try to rotate inventory that way too. Normally we keep something for 90 days, and if it doesn't move in 90 days, we got to figure something out. So that's what we've been doing with in-store product, but I don't know how to move 351 Elite Trainer boxes. They're a pain in the ass to ship, and even at case quantities, if I wanted to ship them case quantities, there's still not that much more I'm making, or even the market for these ETBs right now. It's crazy. So I've been waiting and trying to see if the market is gonna maybe bolster a little bit more, or at least maybe people will run through their product, but that's not going to happen. I just think ETBs in particular, for that, booster boxes are easy to sell. Again, and they're a lot more bang for your buck if you're going to ship them for $8 to $13. But ETBs they're just a grueling thing to try to ship online and sell. It's just, you have to find some way to do it. And yeah, even like I said, even at case quantities to ship and slap just a label on the outside of the box, they don't move very frequently. So yeah, I got a situation on my hands with Battle Styles ETBs. Because that's a good chunk of money that's just been chilling in
Dead money.
dead
Yeah.
money sitting there. That's over, that's $8,700 my cost. That is just sitting there. That's no good. That's no bueno.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess that goes, some people have this whole thing like, oh, nobody's ever going to sell for a loss. There's a floor on everything to some
Absolutely not.
extent. And
That is absolutely
but
not true.
yeah, it kind of goes back to that old question, like if you know that you can sell something for more the next month, kind of going in hindsight, like if you had hindsight and you knew that you would be sitting on $8,000 worth of product a year later, you probably would have sold it at a 10% loss out of the gate. You'd have been further ahead
Yes.
selling at a loss out of the gate, having 8 grand for a year.
And for in every instance of a live I'm watching or somebody talks about this distributor, this a floor price. They'll never sell it for cheaper than they can get it from distributors. That is absolutely not true. You guys, if you're looking at TCG Player and you're going, oh, these boxes are selling for $87, they're paying 83. They're not losing money. It's $8 to $13 to ship a booster box around the country, depending on where it goes right now. Plus the fees, we're looking at $70 profit that this company is making selling that booster box. I should know because I've been doing that with battle style booster boxes just to get rid of them, just to free up the capital because I got to get out of them. It's not getting any better. The market's not going to get any better for those. We got to get that money back out of them. So
And
every time anybody says anything about the distributor floor mystery super secret price floor, that something that will never sell below, it's bullshit because they do sell for that low. They're doing it right now with 3 different types of booster boxes on TCG Player right now.
and some people will hear that and they'll be like, no, I don't believe you. That doesn't make sense. But that $8,000 that you had tied up for a year, inflation. I mean, you just lost 9% on it due to inflation. How much did you lose opportunity cost because
Thanks, man.
you weren't
Thanks.
churning it through new inventory? Yeah, I'm
Make me
not
feel really
trying
good
to
about what you're
pile
saying.
on and make you
Appreciate
feel
it.
worse.
Jeez.
I'm trying to back you up and support your point because, like,
Just kick him while he's down.
Yeah.
at some point, there are certain businesses that it's like, I either sell that $8,000 pallet or half a pallet of ETB. That's probably a couple pallets of ETB, or I don't even know how much, but I forget how many go on a pallet. But
Oh yeah, it's a
like,
pallet. Yep, it's a
yeah,
pallet.
I either sell that $8,000 pallet of ETBs for $6,000, or my lights turn off, or I can't afford my lease, or
Yeah,
I can't
sure.
afford
Yeah.
my payroll bounces this Friday if I don't sell that. So people think like, no, a business would never sell at a loss. That doesn't make sense. If it means not making payroll Friday or whatever the case may be, people will sell at a loss. Absolutely, it does happen. It will happen. It has happened in the past.
Yes.
It will happen again.
It
It's
happens.
happening right
It
now
happens. It
with
happens more than you think.
yeah. So yeah, the whole floor thing, there's definitely more downside risk on certain things, even in this environment of today. You've got Evolving Skies booster boxes at 180, Brilliant Stars at 130, 140, and you've got Battle Styles ETBs taking up space and tying up capital. It's a reality, and I just wanted to back you up. I didn't mean to pile on and make you feel worse about them. I have 60 myself. I just looked at my inventory too.
Yeah. It's that is not the situation you want to be in. And like I said, Pokemon keeps going. I got to buy Astral Radiance here in a couple weeks, and I'm sitting on Battle Styles ETBs. A significant chunk of them sitting in my floor of my warehouse right now. That's not a good situation to be in because nothing is going to come back around that fast to where that bolsters back up to where it makes sense.
And that's a good point to bring up too. I mean, some people run into, you've got a massive store. It sounds like 7,000 square feet. I think you had said. Some people, it becomes a consideration of literal, I don't have a place to put some of this stuff. I need to move it out to move the
Yeah.
new stuff in.
Yeah,
Sometimes
definitely.
it's not as dramatic of missing payroll or missing your lease, but sometimes it's like, I've got enough money to pay all my bills, but I'm getting allocated X amount of Astral Radiance and I don't have the capital to like cover all that comfortably. So you don't want to turn down the hot new set. You'd rather sell at a 20% loss, the old stuff, get it out of there, and then get the full allocation of the new stuff that hopefully isn't another 20% loss a year later, but might be more of a Brilliant Stars, Evolving Skies, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously this is a situation of that last third wave of battle styles that we just got absolutely walloped with. When I was already sitting on cases of ETBs, and they're like, "Oh, here we got all these more for you."
How nice of you.
That's just, yeah, it's not good, not good.
No bueno, like you said.
Yeah.
That was a good question, though. I think this next one's pretty interesting, too. Another heavily paraphrased one. So basically, Cardboard Origins has an eBay store, has contemplated getting into social media more, whether that be Instagram, YouTube, whatever it may be. He's asking that we speak to the risk or the pros and the cons of having such a social media presence. Let me just read quickly. I have a pretty big eBay store and I value my feedback and reputation there highly. Do any of you see a risk revealing the eBay account you sell through and tying it to your YouTube, Instagram, whatever other socials? Not because they're doing anything shady or anything like that, but they see it as a potential way to attract bad attention and people to looking to make things hard for me. Maybe I'm too worried, but I would hate to come out with a video that respectfully disagrees with a large content creator and then have some small percentage of their fan base that might be a bit come and kind of raise hell on their eBay or mess around with their business in that regard. So has that ever been a concern for you? Have you ever thought about it? When I made my YouTube, when I made my Instagram, the thought was there. Clearly, I went the route of like full transparency, full connectivity, and I think all three. It would be interesting if we had somebody else on here who like went the other way. There are certain people with big channels that they do actively sell, but they do it either through consignment houses or they do it through an eBay with a different name, and they don't really connect the two. So yeah, I do it all together. Thankfully, I've never really had an issue of any kind yet. Hopefully, I never do. I think I do everything above board and as open, honest, transparent as possible. So if and when things come up, I mean, I would just talk through it, and yeah, but the thought is there. Like theoretically, if I say the wrong thing, somebody could not like what I say, not like my opinion on YouTube. They could go and try to trash my account with Mason. He's got like Yelp reviews and Google reviews and things like that too. And
Oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, so it's a real thing. I guess the two, all I'll say is I went the route that I went, and so far it's been fine. If I become massive, which I don't think I'm at risk of doing, maybe it'll be more difficult. But for now, it's been fine. There is the alternative though. Like you said, you have a big eBay business, and maybe you just create a YouTube with it under a different name. You don't tie the two together. Some people though too, like PWCC, Golden Heritage, eBay Vault. I don't know fully how it will work mechanically yet, but if eBay Vault works like the PWCC Vault does and did, you might be able to sell through the eBay Vault without tying an account name to it. Like I might be able to send this amazing rare Reshiram Perfect 10. If I put it on my eBay, it's tied to me, you know it's me. If I send it to the eBay Vault, I can likely sell it on the same platform, but anonymously. So there are those options out there too. I don't know exactly what you sell. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, you haven't created a YouTube yet, so you could just do it different name, different branding, and don't tie them together.
Well, I have some experience in this. I don't know if you guys have heard. I had a little bit of a situation in the past year of somebody that came out and made a less than favorable video about me when I thought being very clear with my point, and obviously the point was not so clear. And whether it's substantiated or not, if somebody puts out such a thing and that catches some traction, of course it's going to catch some traction if they push it and people bandwagon on it. But yes, there is definitely risk there that if you say something or something comes out incorrectly or somebody misinterprets what you say, that somebody out there could respond and it then looks negative on you. With the situation I was in, I lost local business to that. I had situations of falling out from local people that made threats against my employees. It goes and can permeate very deeply in not just the YouTube sphere, but your actual personal space. Like that is obviously a line that should never be crossed. But yeah, and especially when in my experience, I'm talking about my business very intimately sometimes, and yeah, there's a lot of things and a lot of things I talk about that I wonder if I should be putting out there just for safety's sake and just of broadcasting the type of things that we have going on. So it's something I think about. It's things that I've pulled back and said, hey, that'd be really cool. Or people have asked me, hey, can you show me this? And I'm not sure I want to put that out there in a lot of ways. So yeah, it's hard to balance. There's definitely pros and cons to it, but I would say definitely that YouTube has been a positive experience on my business, and that I've seen so many more sales and just more national exposure and advertising and people knowing my brand and my store through YouTube that has been beneficial, and even made the whole situation with that issue still make it as an overall net positive for the business. So, and that's something you got to think about, and what exactly, if you're on eBay and you just do an eBay, I mean, how much really are you gaining that people just aren't searching for the item and buying it directly, or would be buying it directly from you, as opposed to just finding whatever the cheapest one is, or with the best pictures, or best whatever that people shop casually on eBay for. I'm not going to say that it wouldn't be beneficial. I think it probably would be beneficial, and people would definitely frequent your eBay to shop from you directly if you had a good presence on YouTube or wherever. But yeah, there are definite pros and cons, and I've been on both extremes of that end. So yeah, consider all the things and whether or not you'd truly benefit from that type of stuff. I mean, I've had a lot of fun on YouTube. It's been very entertaining. It's been great because I've got to meet like Dan and Nick and all the great people that I talk to on a regular basis that also make content. So it's been personally a lot of fun for me as well, not just financially for the business, but for enriching me. So that's a nice, pleasant outcome as well. But yeah, as far as like if you're already kind of more, like you said, risk adverse, maybe think about it. If it would truly benefit you if you're just doing eBay, I would say.
I never really thought about that when I first started on YouTube. I started on YouTube because I wanted to.
Yeah.
I thought it looked cool. I wanted to show off different collections that I was buying. So if nothing else, I had something that I could look back on if I wanted to. I've still never watched one of my own videos, but maybe one day I'll go back and look. But I think like Mason was saying, there's definitely more positives than negatives for having a social media presence. You're always going to have those people who are just impossible to satisfy and leave you a neutral, negative feedback. bad review or something like that. I used to be under the mentality that I wanted to please everyone. I wanted to have 100% positive feedback. And recently I've just come to accept that that's not feasible whatsoever. So I don't want to say I stopped caring about customer service, but it's become a lot less. I don't get as upset when I get a negative or neutral feedback, unless it's something that I genuinely did wrong. Most of the time, I don't think it is, but
it needs to be, customer service needs to be secondary to sanity, or at least like
yes,
maintenance of a perfect feedback score needs to be secondary to sanity for sure.
yes, exactly. But on the flip side of that, people being angry at one of your YouTube videos and taking it out on your business, I think there's definitely perks to that as well, where having a social media kind of legitimizes your business. It puts a face behind the screen name, and I definitely do think that helps business. People will tend to search your store more than some other random eBay account. And then kind of it also, like, I don't think people would listen to my eBay advice. So like a lot of my videos are talking about how I run my eBay business. I don't think people would listen to that advice if I talked about running an eBay business, but I didn't show my actual eBay business. Anyone can talk about this type of stuff, but are you actually doing this? Are you successful doing this? So I think it adds legitimacy in that aspect as well.
Hold on, Nick. Are you saying that people make YouTube channels talking about things that they absolutely have no experience in whatsoever?
Believe it or not,
market, not distribution, not selling. Never mind. I'm sorry.
It's
Continue, please.
What was the channel that you showed me, Dan? The guy in the Lambo calling up his distributor was Pokemon directly.
Wow. Good for him. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But no, that's all I had for that question.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Overall, definitely very positive for me, I think. As Mason said, the networking, creating relationships, sharing the passion, the hobby with everyone, really cool part of it. But you can do a lot of that separate from your eBay. I guess once you make that step, once you throw something out there digitally, it's kind of there forever. You mentioned, Nick, that you've never watched back a video. I really, maybe here or there, a part of one or two, but like part of the reason I created my channel is I think back 8 years ago when I got back into the hobby, I did some cool stuff. I bought some awesome collections, and there's times where I would want to look back. Right now I can look back and I can see the old terrible spreadsheets that I made coming up with the price that I'd pay. I saved all those, thankfully. I have something. But
so your video from yesterday?
Yeah. I would love to see I would love to see, like, when I bought a van full of $40,000 collection 5 years. I wish I had a video. But when you said that you've never looked back, I'm thinking like 40 years from now, 50 years from now, you can show your grandkids your YouTube channel you used to have, and
there we go.
When base unlimited boxes are 1 million and evolutions boxes are 100,000.
No, 10 million.
Okay, 10 million. Sorry,
that would be the projector.
Oh man.
I think we're back to you here.
Okay. So we got Jay, aka Pokemarket UK. Raw near mint WotC cards selling above PSA 7-8 cards. Thoughts moving ahead on clean, raw, vintage cards and how the value may be inflated after the grading boom. So I think this is always going to be the case. I think of it similar as to like booster packs, booster boxes. You're always going to have that gambler mentality, where like packs, boxes, 99% of the time, you're going to lose money. But there's that slim chance where you could make a lot of money by opening that pack. The same applies to raw cards versus graded cards. People buying those cards are going to take that gamble, hope that they can grade it, and it'll get PSA 9, PSA 10, something like that, where they can actually turn a profit and make money.
Yeah, you can't put PSA 10 question mark in the title of a PSA 7 card on eBay. You can't do that. So yeah.
That is true. But yeah, I think that's been a thing for a long time. I forget when Goodwill auctions were a lot bigger than they are today. But back I want to say 2018, 2019, Goodwill auctions for Pokemon were really, really big. And they actually had some really good stuff in there. They had lots of cards. They had single cards. I remember first base holos. People would bid those cards up like crazy. All the cards were raw, and people were bidding PSA 9 prices, hoping that it could get a PSA 10.
And they're always taken at whatever the Goodwill was, so they're always really crappily centered, and you never saw the backs of them. They were all blurry, just in a binder, and they just have all the pages splayed out there, and just well, there could be a holo underneath there. I don't know.
Exactly.
I bought a couple lots like that. Absolutely.
But so that'd be my thoughts on that one.
Yeah, I mean, this is how it's always been, right? Even before the boom, you guys know, but you've been grading for forever. PSA 7 and 8s don't really necessarily have a premium once you get that low on certain stuff, obviously. But yeah, it's always, like I said, it's always the Schrodinger's PSA 10. You never know. It could be a 10 or it could be a 7. We don't know because it's raw. Take the gamble.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all I got, Dan.
I was just gonna say, I think you guys pretty much covered it.
That's how it's always been, I think.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, and Nick and I have talked about this in previous podcasts. Certain things just aren't worth grading that much. If something's sentimental to you, if you want it in a slab, it's always worth grading for yourself. But certain things shouldn't really be graded and shouldn't really garner a premium. A PSA 7 unlimited Hitmonchan or something like that. I think a raw near mint Hitmonchan is always going to outsell a PSA 7 Hitmonchan, because people might think it could be a 9 or a 10. But that 7 was a failed attempt at grading a 9 or a 10. So naturally it should go for cheaper.
Yeah, I mean, that's another thing that something you made me think of is people that are buying these old WotC stuff, they just might want it raw to put it in a binder or to have a collection and fill out some spots that they have in their collection. So it being in a slab, they may not necessarily want a PSA 7 Hitmonchan, like you said, because they want to put it in a binder. So yeah, the natural demand for a raw version of that card, even in decent condition, may just be more just because it's more versatile and you can do more with it.
And buying a slab and cracking it, that's work, and it's risk too. You could damage the card. It's a mess to do it. I'm not looking forward to the 50 to 100 slabs I'm going to crack out this week to send from CGC to. Some of them are going to go from CGC back to CGC. Some of them are going to go to PSA.
You're going to live stream it though, right?
No.
Oh.
These ones are not even going to be recorded because I've cracked 100+ cases, and then the 3 that I crack on video, the worst crack I've ever done before.
Absolutely terrible.
The world doesn't need to see more of that. Shout out Pokemon Radar, who butchered a Shadowless Charizard once cracking, and then DeGreen Shiz, Josh, he butchered a base first cracking that he did on his channel.
Oh, that sucks.
But yours was the best though, because you would explain what could happen, and then immediately afterward, like this.
Yeah, don't do this, and then this happens, and yeah, that was a fun one.
Terrible.
So yeah, next question comes from Gamey TCG or Gammy TCG. Just asking about this one was directed towards me because I had posted a video buying a big EX era lot, asking how my sell-through rate was with those cards, and they mentioned that they've been buying a lot of sub $30 PSA and CGC 9 reverse holos at auction of the EX era. So if those, I bought a couple mid-era collections that I did videos on. I don't know if they're talking about the PSA return I had. In the case of those, they sold pretty well. I think the quickest thing that I'm always able to sell, I always price lowest on market. Ultra Modern sells pretty quickly. When I list Hidden Fates, Evolutions, lowest on market, boom, it's gone. Or when I list like those Pikachu, Eevee, PSA 10s, the prices are a lot lower than they were. But something like this, lowest on eBay, it goes quickly. Sword Shield 50, Charizard V from the Elite Trainer box, that goes quickly. These ones went slower than that. Mid-era goes slower than that, but they still went reasonably well, I guess. It's kind of a vague answer, but I guess that's my answer. It went reasonably well. If you're talking about the raw collection that I bought, I haven't even graded those yet. Those are like minty fresh, but I can't grade them for 50. Like even the Rayquaza, even like the good holos, if those hit 9s, I like $50 is just way too much to pay unless they hit 10s. And I'm never gonna bank on a card hitting a 10. I want to pay 20 or less for those. So those are I'll be getting those back graded in 2025 maybe. Any thoughts for you, Mason? Like in the store, maybe not graded so much, but like raw, like mid-era, just relatively.
Yeah, and again, like even beat up cards will eventually sell because there are those people that just want them raw to fill in a hole, and maybe they don't want to spend the however much a near mint copy would be, but when you're flipping through a binder and you got it sleeved and then it's in the plastic sleeve and then it's far away, if you hold it at arm's length, it looks the same. So, you know, a lot of people look at it that way and they just, it doesn't matter, especially if it's just a card that is genuinely just you don't see very often. People will buy it just because they've never seen it before, or that they want it for a collection piece, or some of their favorite Pokemon and they've just never seen that copy of it before. But yeah, they sell even in, you know, beat up conditions.
Yeah, I don't understand the growing demand behind that mid-era stuff. I don't think I'll ever understand that either. Just because there's some of the cards are cool, like the EX reverse holos with the set symbol stamp. Those are cool, but a lot of those cards and the holos, I just don't understand the appeal of those cards. It was the lowest point within Pokemon, and I just don't understand how those cards are becoming worth so much money compared to back a few years ago. All those things were dirt cheap outside of the sealed product and like the ultra rares and more. I'll never understand that.
Says old school Pokemon.
Hey, that's referring to Watsy.
You're right. He's not mid-era Pokemon. Look on YouTube real quick, see if that name's taken. Let me see. Oh, no.
Yeah, too many mid-era ones, but I got some.
Well, Delta Species is different. Those are cool.
Yeah.
I said stamped reverse holos.
You're talking more like the like the trainer ones or the what's it?
Even like the early
LX or
LB
LB
series, Ruby and Sapphire, Sandstorm, and then Diamond and Pearl. I can't stand level X's. that is the worst. We were talking about rarities earlier. That is the worst rarity.
Level X.
I don't mind them. They're fine.
I like primes more than level X's.
There are a lot of good prime arts. I like the primes.
What? I was more so saying that like primes are just above level X's. Not that primes were the greatest.
No. They're not like better than gold stars.
I think
SL.
primes were appropriately priced back when they were all $3 to $4.
Yeah.
When I had them in my $2 box, yeah, like a Meganium. Yeah.
Isn't there only like 18 of them or something? I remember buying complete
Yeah,
prime sets for like 60 or 80 bucks, like mint ones too. I wish I bought more and kept them.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't midair. The only thing I figure is that just people aren't used to seeing those cards, so that they think they're exotic. That's the only thing I can figure.
So, next question. Shiny light bulb. Do you have any thoughts on why auctions sometimes end over the lowest buy it now? Have you all ever bid on a card above the lowest buy it now? So to answer the first part of the question, I think there's a lot of factors. Obviously you have who's selling the card and the seller's reputation. Sometimes that could people pay more to purchase a card through someone reputable than someone who's you're like Joe Schmo on eBay. But then another reason why is people just get caught up in the moment of the auction. So they might not do their market research and just kind of get caught up in the moment of the auction and pay whatever they feel comfortable paying. I've definitely done that myself. So getting into the second part of the question, I think I talked about this in the podcast last week, maybe not, but a couple weeks ago there was a what was it? It was the secret rare Flash Fire Mega Charizard EX PSA 9 on PWCC auction, and I went through all the PSA 9 Charizard listings on PWCC on Saturday and kind of compared what I wanted my maximum bid to be compared to buy it now pricing on eBay. So I looked at this specific card on eBay. I saw the buy it now pricing was like $180 as the lowest buy it now price. So I figured I'd go ahead and set my maximum bid on PWCC as $200, figuring I'll pay an extra $20 to get it with all these other cards that I'm getting from PWCC. But I completely forgot about the buyer's premium. So instead of $200, I paid, it was like $240, $250 for this card. So way overpaid compared to eBay's lowest buy it now price. But that was just my stupidity over anything else.
Well, it's probably the case in most of these situations that they just don't know where the bidding is at and where the prices should be.
Yeah.
If I had to guess. Yeah, I mean, it's, at the end of an auction, yeah, it gets competitive. And if you look at the other guy and like, why is this guy bidding so much for this card? What is he seeing that I'm not seeing? What's going on here?
Yeah.
Then, yeah, you can definitely get in your own head about overpaying for it, I think, for sure.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just a platform thing. Like it used to be eBay, PWCC was on eBay, most things were on eBay. Now it's getting more, things are on Heritage, things are on Golden and PWCC Vault. You might buy a thing on eBay and then not even notice the buy it now in the PWCC Vault for cheaper. So sometimes it's just people not seeing the cheaper option. And then a lot of other times it's potentially the grade too. I mean, there's been examples in the past where really bad examples of 10s or 9s are up, buy it now, and they just sit and people are aware of them. They know they're there, and auctions go higher because it's just a really misgraded card. And the whole thing with PSA, their financial guarantee as of late, not really their head grader. has some questionable grade upheld scenarios recently. So yeah, sometimes it's simply people buying the card and not the grade. So Shiny Light Bulb 1000 with another one. Can you talk more about the Fortnite cards? I'm really impressed with the Fortnite franchise, and now I am trying to learn as much as I can about them. So I showed the box earlier, and I mentioned we
There it is.
Yeah. You know what? I haven't opened any yet. I'm gonna cut right into it and open
Oh my!
something.
Are you sure?
Man,
How much is that box
that's-
worth? Are you sure? That's
I have no idea what I paid. I have no idea what it's worth.
it's an $800 box.
The silly thing with Fortnite, like I got these from my distributor. The silly thing with Fortnite, at least for Series 1, at the time Series 1 came out, I played the game. I used to play the game with Radar and Cheerlocker, John and Charlie. They still play on occasion. I heard them recently talk on YouTube somewhere, so I'm actually building a new PC soon. So I'm gonna have to
Oh boy.
I'm gonna have to re-download Fortnite and drop in with them, drop in with the boys again at some point for nostalgia's sake. But yeah, it's weird. Series 1, it's called a hobby box. Think booster box. In Pokemon, it's like the premier product, right? Like booster boxes for sets that don't have booster boxes, it's ETBs on down. Fortnite was weird in that Series 1, an entire box, you'd get one holo card.
Man.
I came prepared.
Wow. Jeez.
So the skin that I used to play in Fortnite, this is like a robot skin. It just, for whatever reason, it was my favorite skin. AIM. It stands for something, I don't remember what. But the chase cards were cracked ice crystal shards. You could not pull the chase cards from a booster box. I didn't know that was a thing. You got them from a retail mega box, they call it. Think like a fat pack in Magic, kind of like an ETB in Pokemon. But so yeah, it would be like, imagine if in Evolving Skies, imagine if you couldn't pull alternate arts from the booster box and you could only pull them from ETBs. Like how weird would that be? How weird of a dynamic would that be? So Fortnite Series 1, that was always really frustrating. Like you had the base card, and then you had the holo one that you could get from the box, but only one per box instead of one per 3 packs like Pokemon. And then the ultimate chase, the crystal shard, you had to go to a different product entirely. And just weird. I guess.
Can you imagine making a product that is aimed at kids and not putting shiny things in it? Like, what are you doing? Like, what how are you supposed to keep these kids' attention? Like, what?
Yeah, Fortnite Series 3, it's a 332 card set. There's 25 uncommons, 75 rares, 100 epics, 23 legendaries, and so on. It looks like they changed it now. Approximately 1 out of 6 packs to get a holo. And instead of just having holo and then crystal shard, they also have what's called Optichrome. And I think there's one other. One of them, I think the crystal shard you can still only get in the retail mega packs, which is just kind of annoying to me. Oh, look at that.
First pack there you go. You got one in 6. Just got it.
Like I don't play the game still, so I don't really know what the like Black Knight from season 1, series 1. That's when I played mostly. Skull Trooper, Black Knight. I guess the big one now is they call him Nate Hill. I don't even know what his name is, but Nate Hill's a big pro Fortnite streamer, and there's a skin that looks kind of like him. I think he's one of the big chases from Series 3. But yeah, I just pulled a rare, it's called Biz, a rare skin. And I guess it's just a regular holo. It's not like an Optichrome or anything, but kind of cool. I bought them for fun because they were cheap. I've told the story before. John's told the story before. I think I'm fuzzy now. I brought a few boxes of Series 1 to 2019 Worlds in DC so that I could rip some packs with John and Charlie, just to kind of see if we could pull the skins that we'd play with when we played. So just the connection that I had to the game was interesting to me. The tie-in to the game. As far as I'm not investing in it, I'm not carrying it as a big part of my inventory. I bought a few boxes because I plan to play again a little bit here, hopefully coming up soon. And it's tied to the game is the only thing I care about.
Well, there you go, shiny light bulb. There's we talked more about Fortnite. There you go. You're welcome.
Yeah. Have you ever had people coming into the store asking about it? Or?
Yeah, I have had people come in and ask about it. And it's, again, like when it first came out, they were just so hard to get your hands on. Yeah, I see it, Dan. Thank you. But yeah, I don't. They would probably sell, sure, but it's just like, at what cost? What am I? I'm just joking. I mean, it's not even that. It's just I just never thought to pick them up. Really, realistically, that's just all it is. I don't even know who carries them. I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Fortnite. That's another crazy thing to me. Like, my sister's boyfriend is huge into that game. And for his birthday, one of his birthday presents, she got him like $50 in the cards that you could redeem to get
V-Bucks
skins in the game and all that. And
yeah.
I can't believe people are spending that much money to get these virtual things.
Oh, I can.
Hold on, we got waifu cards, boys. We're going to the moon.
Is it?
It's
I don't
Lexa.
know. It's just
Lexa is an epic. That looks like a waifu card. You change your minds now?
No.
Nope. Still nothing. Next question.
I'm trying to see if I can even order this from anybody. Oh yeah, I could have got it from Southern. Apparently, it's sold out. But thank goodness I don't have to fight the impulse to buy it. Bummer. Sucks. Oh well.
We got another holo.
Yo, let's go!
Look at you
with the big pulls. Envision. Yeah, the skin thing, like I used to buy the battle pass, so you could buy the battle pass. I don't remember what it cost, $9 or something. And then it would give you certain challenges and you could earn V-Bucks in the battle pass. If you did it right, like I bought the battle pass one time and I played quite a bit for a stretch there. I would earn enough V-Bucks to get the next battle pass like for free for the same initial money I put in. You'd earn some skins in game. You'd unlock them in game. I'm pretty sure the robot that I used to use, that was one of the like unlocks just for playing the game. I never put more money in than that initial $10 or whatever to buy the battle pass. I think they've changed it now though. Naturally, as it happens, they make things more expensive. They make it harder to earn the free or the included V-Bucks. And I think I started playing season 1, for anyone familiar with Fortnite, season 1, chapter 4-ish. And now they're on like season 3, chapter 3 or something. I had fun with it. I spent a couple $100 buying boxes of the cards. One interesting story I did though, at one point I don't know if I'd call it a buyout, or I saw an opportunity though. The retail mega boxes were going on eBay for like $30 a piece. In every retail mega box, you got a guaranteed little like the regular booster packs, you couldn't pull the crystal shards out of. It came in a separate like foil looking pack and you'd get 2 crystal shards. I bought like 50 of these boxes, or was it 25? I might have bought 25 boxes. So then I had 50 of the cracked ice cards total. Oh, I could probably find the picture actually and pull it up, the whole share screen thing.
And how'd you do?
I pulled a lot of them. I saw like opportunity to like maybe do a double up, or not even quite a double up. Maybe I made 50% of my money. So I spent like $1,000 on 25 of these boxes and I made a few $100. if I just bought those all, set them back, those retail mega boxes that I was buying for $30-ish are like $1,000 now. And at the peak, they were closer to 2. So like I could have made 50 grand plus if I had just sat on them. Yeah. Crazy. One of them's got. I posted this picture somewhere on Discord or something, and I just blurred out my son's face because it's my son sitting next to a pile of all the empty boxes. Let me see if I can do some quick editing skills. But yeah, I had quite a few of the pack. Enjoyable, a missed flip opportunity. If I had played it right, I could have made a lot more money, but I had fun with it.
No, I think you did okay.
Yeah. I don't really know how to get this shared. We'll move on to the next question.
I mean, just do those cracked ice cards still have value, or do they?
There's a weird thing too with like there's a USA print, there's a Brazil print, there's an Italy print. The USA print is the big one. All the ones that I had were the USA print.
There's just way too much going on there.
There was a lot going on there, and it just really threw me off that like the best product. Okay, here's the picture that I wanted to find. The one that's just the cards. So let me see if I can share screen now.
Just every time I see them, I'm just like, why have they not done a tie-in to the game with some sort of skin or something and sell these packs for a bajillion dollars? You know, think of how many.
That is true. That is true.
Think of how many V-Bucks that could.
Yeah, these are the cards. I don't think I had any of the big hitters, but like had I kept the pack sealed, these were each like every 2 of these would equate to one of the sealed shard packs, and those were worth like $1,000 a piece. Or I think they're worth $1,000 a piece now, and they peaked closer to 2.
That is absurd.
Yeah. So bad idea to open those and devalue my investment so much because I just flipped them. I flipped them for like a couple $100 profit, and then I was done and washed. I did keep my one. I kept my one. I pulled the skin that John wanted, and I pulled the skin that Charlie wanted. So we each graded like the skins that we played with, and then that was pretty much it. Here's another one that might be up Mason's alley.
Okay. You want me to read it for you? I can read it.
Oh, go for it.
Preston asks, hi Preston, what's the best way to get rid of 6,500 bulk cards? Trying 100 card lots, 20 of them being holos on eBay for $20 or on Facebook Marketplace for $15 with only limited success on Facebook locally. Well, there's 2 ways to go about it. You can either do it the quick and dirty way, or, well, I guess it's the quick and clean way, or the slow and dirty way, which, if I had to choose one, I know what I would pick. But anyways, if you just you say get rid of, and when somebody comes in my store and they say they want to get rid of something, that automatically tells me that I don't have to pay a lot for them. So if you just want to get rid of them, take them to a game store and they will pay you probably close to 2 or 3 cents a card, and they will go away. You can definitely do that. But yeah, I mean, if you want to try selling them yourself, I mean, you're seeing in real time and through first-hand experience the type of effort and the arduous process of selling bulk and breaking it down into those smaller lots. If you just want to offload them, yeah, send them off to Troll and Toad or whoever, and just that's going to be the easiest way to get rid of them. I think 6,500 bulk cards, that's like one large flat rate box, and you can send it to any of those places that accept bulk, and they will give you store credit or cash or whatever the heck they do these days. I don't know, but yeah, that's for the average person. That's a far better way to go because it's just not worth it. It's just not worth the effort unless you have like a big, huge operation of trying to do that stuff. It's just not worth it.
I would definitely agree with you for the average person.
Right.
It is a ton of work involved. And it's tough with 6,500 cards because that does sound like a lot. But in order to make selling these bulk cards worthwhile, you have to have a lot more than that. I recently started selling on TCG Player, and I absolutely love the TCG Player Direct program. But in order to sell through TCG Player Direct, you have to be doing I think it's $600 every 2 weeks. That's what they want you to be doing, $600 every 2 weeks.
You have to be a level 4 seller too, right?
Yeah, that's the other thing. You have to be a level 4 seller.
Yeah.
$600 every 2 weeks in sales. So if you're going to be dealing with these bulk cards priced at 5 to 20 cents a piece, maybe a couple dollars here and there, you're going to be selling a lot of cards. So you need to have a large inventory in order to sell those cards and make it worthwhile. If you want to do the work yourself, I think doing the work yourself makes it not worthwhile just because it's way too much work involved. That's why I like the direct program. But
how many cards you have, Nick, and through to the direct?
I have 26,000 cards listed right now.
Okay.
I basically do 50 copies of every single card that I get. And then anything that's priced over 25 cents, I'll just do however many copies I have.
Mostly modern stuff, or just
all modern stuff.
Yeah.
Sword and Shield is
right.
all that I have right now.
Yeah, we have our entire inventory on TCG Player right now, and we have 200,000 cards on TCG Player. Of course, we cranked up the percentage above market pricing, so we don't have 10,000 orders the next day, or else that would be a very realistic scenario. But yeah, I mean, the bulk game is highly discussed. I did a video about it, and it kind of blew up, and I got a lot of good subscribers off of it. Just trying to explaining the trials of trying to make bulk make sense to sell on a large scale, and for this situation, that sucks. Selling them for $20 for 100 of them. It's just, a lot of effort, a lot of hustling, and probably not a lot of sales. So you have to have some sort of infrastructure. You have to have people that have the amount of traffic driving to be able to get enough eyes on somebody that wants that Voltorb or whatever. It's not a reasonable process for the average person.
That's the other thing I will add is I've tried selling back before I got into selling singles. I've tried doing lots of 100 cards, throw in some holos, some ultra rares, stuff like that. That is really tough because you're competing with so many more people doing that. And you're competing with these like gigantic stores who have an eBay listing with 10,000 plus sold and they have thousands of watchers. So obviously those types of listings are going to get promoted more than your listing with 2 watchers and 5 sales.
Yeah, I mean, back when I first started, I did that before I even started a business. I was just doing the side thing, and then I would buy collections, and that's where the bulk would go. It'd be in these big 400 card lots that I would do with 50 rares or holos or whatever. And yeah, back then it was pretty reasonable because there wasn't every single person under the sun wanting to do that. But now it's just so saturated. Yeah, you can't do it anymore just by yourself casually.
What do you pay for 140 Fortnite bulk cards?
The amount that you would have to pay to ship them to me, I would do you a favor and RTS it back to you.
Nice.
Nice.
So while you guys were talking bulk, I finished creating Fortnite bulk. These are my 4 holo hits. This one is glossier feeling, thicker cardstock feeling. So it's some kind of variant chrome or whatever. And I did get like the base and the special one of that.
Oh, okay. So you can even compare it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And one thing that I just discovered, I'm a big Fortnite collector now. They got my boy Bigfoot.
Yo,
Jesus.
let's go.
So I pulled if I got, now I need to go get the Optichrome.
Yeah,
the
I mean that was
shard.
worth cracking the packs just in itself. Is that you got?
Now I got a new collection goal to go get Bigfoot. Before this goes live, I will have bought out all the Bigfoot. I'm a collector, true collector. I just want one of each. I'm not going to corner the market on Bigfoot, but I'm going to go buy one holo Bigfoot, one Optichrome Bigfoot, and one cracked shard or crystal shard Bigfoot.
There we go.
Exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited for you.
So yeah, I think you guys covered it for bulk. I sell the bulk of my bulk to Troll and Toad.
Yeah.
3.5 cents a card.
Which is really good. I mean, that's really good for bulk. Yeah, you have to ship it, but 3.5, that's about the best you can ask for.
Yeah, like 6,500, as you said. I think you can squeeze 7 to 7,500 in a large flat rate box. I think one of my, like a year ago, I think one of my early videos was how I pack bulk for shipping it to Troll and Toad. Probably has like 37 views if I had to guess. But yeah, like at 3.5 cents a piece, that's a couple $100. The shipping is like 20, 25, whatever it is now. So you're making a little bit.
It's $195. So,
yeah.
One thing I will mention, if you want to figure out the best rates for selling your bulk, TCGBulkKings.com. He tracks like all the big names who buy bulk. Yeah. He tracks how much they're paying for each rarity and highlights like who has the best rate for specific rarities and all that. So definitely check out his website.
I really love watching TCG Bulk Kings, and I shouted him out in that big bulk video, and his channel blew up, and I'm super like happy for him that happened. Because he like went over 1,000 subs like very, very quickly. That was very cool.
He really did, yeah, because he was like mid 200 or 300s when
he's doing the hustle. He's the guy that is really got it down to a science and is really doing every avenue he can to just squeeze out every last penny out of every single card that he sells. So
did I take that right?
Yeah.
TCG Bulk Kings, yep. And he's just a good dude and very informative, and he's there to help. So I was happy to see him grow and out of my little shout out that I did for him. So that was awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
Nice. Now
Is this it?
No.
We got one more?
No, I lost which question I was at. Now I'm back. We
just gotta start over.
We've got a handful more.
No. It's the last one on my sheet. What do you mean? I have this is my last one according to.
Oh yeah. We're hitting you with a surprise. We had a few come in after I sent you the sheet.
Okay. No, we're good.
Mason didn't get to study for these last ones, so be ready.
Goodness, I'm scared.
So PokeFamily Gaming asks, do you think that the upcoming Pokemon Go set will somehow connect with the mobile game? If so, how do you think that would work? Maybe Pokemon encounters or items. So I did play Pokemon Go for a couple of years when it first came out. Enjoyed the game, but then I kind of like had enough of it. I'm not still actively playing. Maybe someday I'll get back into it, but so I don't even know. I hear about it occasionally. I have some friends that still play it, so I hear about it a little bit. I did hear something though about, I think it's supposed to have a tie. I think they're doing like league events, and maybe Mason can speak more to this. I think they're going to have a component where people playing the Pokemon Go app can come into league events and have some kind of interaction there. I guess I'll pass it right off to Mason so he can.
Oh, I mean, you can go
Yeah.
ahead. I mean,
Yeah, because I don't play the game. I am gonna buy the set a bunch, but yeah.
yeah, I talked to last night on Pick That Shoe's Instagram live that we were talking about Pokemon Go, and yeah, I was saying they sent out an email just this last week about opting into having Pokemon Go competitive battling events along with the TCG and the VGC battling things that you can hold for league events. And even in the recent European Nationals, or I guess it would be international, international event for all the high-level Pokemon, they had Pokemon Go competitive battling being one of the four, along with Pokken still. But Pokemon Go was like the new thing that they were really showcasing, and I watched a little bit of it. I was like, "What the hell? Who plays competitive Pokemon Go?" But there's definitely a meta. There's definitely the things to do and the Pokemon to use and things like that. So somebody out there thinks it's interesting enough to play. So maybe it'll catch on and be really good and popular.
Is that gonna be at like Worlds?
Yeah, I mean they had Pokken at Worlds too, so yeah, potentially that'll be in London too. I can't
That's what
imagine
I
it
was
wouldn't
gonna
be.
say. Yeah, because like when we were at DC, there was Pokken. I watched a little bit of it.
Yeah.
They didn't get the trophy cards though. I wonder if and whenever, like it's always been video game and TCG getting the trophy Pikachu's.
Yeah.
I wonder if Pokemon Go ever could. Maybe I'll have to dust off the old Pogo app and try to be the very best like no one ever was.
See what's up, yeah. But they have not explicitly said anything about any sort of tie-in, but we do have some precedents for such a thing existing. They recently put out a product with the professor from Pokemon Go, Professor Willow, where he had like a digit code on there that you could put in. So they've definitely done things like that before. Obviously, you have a phone, you can use QR codes. Maybe QR codes won't be for the Pokemon TCG online, but it might be for Pokemon Go instead. And that could give you some items or some, Pokeballs or something like that, whatever. So they have not said anything about that, but I would be very surprised if there wasn't some sort of tie-in. Because why do this set? Like, it doesn't make sense to just be like, oh, it's Pokemon Go. Everybody likes Pokemon Go. Let's make a set for it. I just don't see them doing that. 6 years after the app's released or however long it's been. It just seems like it's really weird unless they had something like some sort of gimmick where both platforms could benefit from. And I bought in pretty heavily for this set because I've been scaling back a little bit. Like for Astral Radiance, I didn't ask for as much, and I'm seeing the writing on the wall that things are cooling to where I'm not moving this product as well. But with Pokemon Go, I see the casual market for that, and people being able to see it in stores or come into my store and see it. And they see Pokemon Go, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I remember playing that." So I think casual sales for that will be a lot higher and pretty good. So I actually went pretty heavy with it. More than I would have if it was just like any other random summer set or something, a specialty set. So I do think it's a good time. There's still millions of people that play the game. When I worked at the airport, I saw people playing Pokemon Go all the time, even recently. So it's not anything that it's like a defunct app or anything that nobody plays anymore. There's definitely people that play it. Pokemon is actively pushing it. Like I said, it's being competitive on the world stage apparently at this point. So the tie-in, there has to be something more to it. There has to be something why it makes sense. I don't think it's just a matter of, hey, you can play Pokemon Go competitively. Oh, and here's the TCG that you can also play competitively. I think there's got to be some other sort of crossover for it to make sense. We'll see as we get closer. Because there's a lot of things that we don't know about the set still. They still haven't shown all the arts. We do know it's going to be under 100, so it's going to be a smaller set. But yeah, they have code cards and specialty boxes and stuff that exist, and they have not shown or said what those codes will be redeemable for. So the mind wanders what they're going to do.
Yeah, I feel like we got our the information on Pokemon Go came out a lot later than any other. Like you have a general idea on how good or bad a set's going to be when you put in your allocation numbers, just based off of the Japanese release. But with Pokemon Go, you didn't have any information whatsoever
Yeah.
on what the set was going to be. I thought it could go one of two ways. I thought it could be something where it was like exclusively for the Pokemon Go app, and the cards really didn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Or it could be something connecting the two, and the cards would look cool. And I went pretty heavily on Pokemon Go as well. And
Okay.
luckily, so far from the few images that we did see, it was actually funny. So like my first like wave of allocations were due. It was like a month ago, and then like new products just kept coming due for Pokemon Go. And the last of the products were like the Pokeball tins and something else. Those came due. I put in my numbers for those, and then like the next day, we finally got our like the initial reveal of what some of the details of the set. And the few cards that we've seen so far look really, really nice. So I'm super excited for this set.
Yeah, and this set comes out July 1st.
Yeah.
So like it's super, super late to be getting this information. And we do not get it. They did not separate the time between when Japan got it and where the US got it. So there's no spoilers. There's no like, Japanese sets already have it. No, we're all getting it at relatively the same time. I don't know if it's exactly the same time, but like July 1st it's already May. So we have 2 months for the set to come out.
Yeah.
So it's going to be here before too long for sure.
Yeah,
I will say sorry, Dan. I was a little disappointed in the ultra premium collection. I thought that was going to be more like the celebration.
Yeah. I was kind of weak too. I thought I bought pretty heavily on those because like, well, I mean the last one went crazy, so why not take the gamble? But yeah, I mean it's cute. I mean it's the EV. That's the EV box, but
yeah.
the price point was significantly lower though, right? Wasn't that?
Oh yeah. It's
Yeah.
I think it's like it might be a $50 $60 box. I think there's not a lot of extras with it.
I think it was like half retail of the UPC, but I went fairly heavy on the set as well, because that was one where I got to put in numbers. I didn't get like, hey, you're just getting these.
Yeah.
I think I got everything I asked for. I don't even know if that's fully.
You
I don't know.
got your numbers?
Maybe not then. I think I put in my I don't even know. I'm looking
You're
at
giving Dan a hard time. What do you mean? I mean, like I said, it's 2 months away. Maybe they might have dropped them already, but I haven't looked at them.
No, I guess I'm looking at the numbers that I put in. I didn't get anything back yet.
I do have one product that is locked in, and it's the stupid gift tins.
No. Nobody cares about those.
Well, that's kind of cute because it has a Pikachu that holds a gift, and with the gifts that they give in the game, so there might be some sort of tie-in with that product specifically with gifts. I mean, but again, that's all speculation. Nobody knows. But
or they just locked in that number for you because nobody else ordered those.
Well, the number is really low, so I think it's less than what I asked for.
Oh, okay.
Maybe not. I'm not 100% sure, but.
Here's the bonus questions that Mason didn't see.
Ah, hell.
You can blame me for
these ones. Almost 3 hours in.
You want me to read it? I'm sorry. Is that what you said?
This one was Nick's. He's doing our timestamp stuff over there.
Okay.
Matthew B. Thoughts on the longevity of the Pokemon franchise? New video game releases worry me, but Pokemon may be too big to fail. I think this TCG will be okay if the franchise is healthy. So I think right now Pokemon's in a really good spot. I don't think we have anything to worry about in the short term. I don't know why you say the new video game releases worry you, just because I like the latest game, Arceus. I absolutely love that game, and I'm not normally someone who plays Pokemon, but I did buy that game, and I absolutely love playing that game. So I think that was a home run on Pokemon's part. But yeah, I think at this point, Pokemon, we've all heard biggest grossing media franchise. It's multi-generational at this point. So I think like the foundation and the roots of Pokemon are strong enough to withhold any type of down periods that we see going forward. Like obviously this hype that we have right now isn't going to last forever. At some point we're going to experience the next Diamond and Pearl, Heart Gold, Soul Silver kind of mid-era of Pokemon, and I think it Pokemon could bounce back from that again, just based off of how popular it is right now. But yeah, I am, and then to answer kind of the last part of that, I do think the video games, the TCG, those are definitely all related to or connected to the overall franchise. So the overall franchise does have to continue on and be successful in order for the video games and the TCG to continue to be successful. Once Pokemon, if Pokemon ever does die out completely, I think the TCG will eventually die out as well. Even like collecting Pokemon and all that stuff, I do think there would come a time where people just forgot about Pokemon, and first edition base eventually became the new Beanie Babies.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Nick, I think the strength of Pokemon is that all the media or the different aspects of Pokemon existing all play and feed off each other. And there's a lot of interplay between people that like the anime and people that like the games and people like the TCG. There's all the people that mix all those together. So yeah, Pokemon's not going anywhere. And I think that's a fairly not hot take. I think we all know that if Pokemon was to go anywhere, it would not be instantaneous. It'd be very much a slow fade as opposed to a burnout quick, where we're all sitting there holding things that are worthless.
Yeah, I'm just going to echo what those two said. I think they covered it pretty well. I haven't played the recent video games. I buy them all, and I want to play them at some point, but I'm not there yet.
just adding them on into your sealed collection.
I guess, yeah.
Ultra modern sealed, gotta love it. Once WADA opens back up at the lower levels, I gotta grade my Pokemon Arceus. I gotta grade my all those new ones. Next question, Matthew B. with another one. Thoughts on the new PWCC CGC partnership? On the PWCC website, they are offering a $20 flat fee per card that covers everything but requires the card to be auctioned via PWCC. I think we briefly touched on this earlier. I do intend to try it out. I don't know what their minimum is, but as I mentioned, sometime next week I'm going to do a video where I send some to PWCC to try out this new service. For anyone unaware, I believe they're guaranteeing under 10 business days for it to get turned around in grading. And then when you submit to a PWCC auction, from the time that you submit it, they get it onto one of the weekly Sunday auctions within like 4 weeks. So the whole process in total should be around 6 weeks, theoretically, as they're advertising it, from when you send it to PWCC to when it sells. For anyone unfamiliar with PWCC, then it takes about another 2 or 3 weeks to get paid. So, but I mean, that's going from a raw card all the way to money in your pocket from a graded sale. Intriguing concept. I'm just going to try it before I think too much about it or knock it too much. Really interesting though, CGC being open with such a quick turnaround. There's opportunity there, I think, with certain things if you're careful and pre-grade reasonably well.
I mean, what is that the benefit? Is that you don't have to touch it? It just automatically goes from 1 to 1?
Yeah, and I think one of the things that, getting back into, whose question was it? Cardboard Origins. Like there are so many more ways to sell with anonymity that I think some people really value that. And there are a lot of players out there, big players, that people might know their names, but they sell a lot in the background, either through eBays without their names tied directly to them, or they just do a lot of consigning through Heritage, Golden. Nick, James, Rusty, Scott all do their own eBay consignment services. There's a lot of different ways out there in today's market to just sell. I don't want to say passively, but I'm going to say semi-passively. I have some amount of an attraction to that, having thousands of graded slabs, and not for all my inventory, not for everything, but some amount of it, just 20 cards a month, 50 cards a month, however many it is. That might be, I mean, if I have good performance from it, if it pans out and I actually get like returns from it, it's just a lot less labor intensive way.
I'm still trying to understand because I haven't read anything about this. So the $20 flat fee, is that including like what they charge you based off the sell of it?
So the $20 fees for like the grading, presumably, and I don't know this for sure, but I'm assuming they'll start the card at $20 for a minimum bid. If it doesn't get a bid, I think they'll still bill you. Like they'll keep the card, because right now if you do a weekly auction, they start it at 10, and if it gets no bids, you get no money, and they keep the card. In that instance, though, like they didn't do the service of grading it for you. Like they don't owe CGC. So
yeah,
say I've got 20 cards that I want to send to them. That's going to be $400 in grading fees. If I send 20 cards that garner no bids whatsoever and they all just get like absorbed into the ethos, well, now I've got a $400 bill from PWCC. If I've got a vault, if I've got collateral there, then they have leverage against me and they're going to make me pay it. But some amount of people might just send absolute garbage, and then they end up with a bill that they just skip town on from PWCC. Like, I wonder if do any kind of a screening, say like, hey buddy, these 50 cards you sent, maybe you don't want to spend $1,000 grading them. I don't know if they'll do that, but like, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'm someone that whatever I send, they have leverage against me because I have a lot of stuff in the vault. If I send them 50 base unlimited Weedles that are bent in half and they all just get absorbed into the void with no bids, they're going to send me $1,000 bill and I'm going to have to pay it because they have collateral. But for somebody who doesn't have a vault, who just sends that stuff, who knows? But yeah, you don't pay up front for anything. You send the raw cards, they get graded, they go right to the auction block, and then the $20 per card comes out at the end, along with the standard selling fees.
Okay, so
yeah,
they still get their chunks, even though.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I guess I have a hard time understanding why PWCC even exists, honestly. But I guess it's this type of partnership would make sense if you. I mean, this only exists for people that just want to flip cheap junk and grade it very quickly. I don't know what is the market hunger for this type of purchasing. I don't know. Is there people that just want doo-doo slabs and they're going to pay $20 at least for them? I don't know. Nick, what would you send something off like this, and what type of card would you send in this type of scenario?
I wouldn't.
Okay. I mean, okay. So I'm not. I just want to make sure I'm not off base on that, because I'm not.
No, definitely not. I would not use the service.
Okay.
I've got like I'm gonna actually send. I don't know if it'll be 20 or 25, but like a couple cards. I recently spent a few grand shopping on Buy, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I'll lose money, but like I'm doing really well with Scream promos in general.
Sure.
I bought a ton of them when I was buying these 3-card sets for like $10 to $20. You couldn't really see Psyduck there, but like I can buy mint cents of these still from Buy for like $200, like $60 a card. In PSA 9, they're selling for like 100 to 150 each.
Yeah.
In PSA 10, they're selling Rowlet for 200, Eevee for 400, Psyduck for like 500 or 600. CGC less, but like if I can buy them raw for 60 or 70 a piece, with the grading, I'm now at 80 a piece. If I've got a decent eye and I can get 9s, 9.5s, maybe the occasional 10, I think there's money to turn these around, have them sold, buy more raw, like basically churn to some extent. Not just these cards, but I think there's other cards out there that this could exist for. I can't touch $50 a piece. I mean, you could if you're confident they're going to get a 10, but 50 is tougher. 20, and I don't have to touch it. I don't have to see it again. I send it now. 2 months later, I get a check, like ACH transfer, whatever. I'm going to try it out and see what happens. I'll make a video. If I fall flat on my face and if I lose $500 in fees and $1,000 worth of cards, I'll make a video. There'll be a spreadsheet. There'll be a bunch of red everywhere. I think it's interesting. I could see for certain people who I think too many people keep grading too much stuff at Heritage. I'm constantly buying cards like this at Heritage for like pretty cheap. And if the market never comes around on it, I'll just crack them and cross into PSA at some point. But I could see someone who has an entire 5-figure WotC collection opting to send their cards through this because they think graded is going to get me a premium. I don't want to sell them raw for a fraction of the price. Maybe they'd be better off being patient and waiting for PSA, but telling people to wait a year or two or to pay, like at PSA, say you've got 100 WotC Holo card collection, you got to pay $5,000 up front to grade 100 cards at PSA. PWCC, people that might not fully know too, they might be costing themselves some money, but instead of paying $5,000 up front, you grade those same 100 cards, it's $2,000, and it just comes out of what you're going to get. That's an attractive thing to certain people, I think.
I think that's also where it gets dangerous, though, not having to pay anything up front.
Oh, definitely.
I think what you're talking about is going to be more the like exception than the normal. I think you're going to have a lot more people sending these junk cards.
Oh, very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on the same page there. Yeah. I worry for the people who have 50 cards and they're just like, I'm going to send these 50 cards and it'll come out of my money later and there'll be no money later. That's going to be more PWCC's problem than the people's problem. If they don't have a vault, if they don't have a credit card on file, whatever. And I don't even know the mechanics of that. I don't know if you have to have a credit card on file. I don't know if you have to have collateral.
I would imagine they're going to make you put a card on file or something.
I know it didn't happen as much as I thought, but I remember a year ago, if not more, maybe on eFold, like pre my YouTube channel, theorizing some amount of cards are going to be abandoned at their middlemen. Some amount of cards, like especially the post-pay ones, people are going to send out 100 cards thinking they're going to retire off them. And then a year and a half, 2 years later, they're going to get them back. And you hear James, you hear ZNG talk about it.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got boxes all around his office from some people prepaid, which is just crazy. Some people didn't prepay, though, and they might never come back to prepay. The whole Marks cards thing.
Yeah.
There's tens of thousands of cards out there that have been functionally abandoned and maybe will never be paid for. The middleman is just stuck with them. And I don't know if they have agreements. I don't know if they have things where X amount of months, years, they take ownership and now they've got these PSA 5 Weedles to auction off. But yeah, there's a lot of potential for that in this system. And I hope that somebody is looking out for for that, I guess. I hope somebody at PWCC would be like, hold on, you actually want to send this stuff?
I
I
don't
don't think
think
it's
that'll
gonna
be.
go well.
What's the advantage of someone from PWCC saying, "I don't want your business. You shouldn't do
Well,
this."
that they don't get stuck paying the $1,000 grading bill and have cards that don't get a $10 bid or a $20 bid.
I think instead of that, they're going to have systems in place where something like you have to have a credit card on file where even if you don't get the bid, we still get our money. They've got to do something like that.
It could be. Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, I
Intriguing,
think it's a really good move for CGC. PWCC, I think it's also a good move for them. But I think the biggest winner of this partnership is definitely CGC. You're going to start seeing more cards graded through CGC just because people are still really reluctant to do their own work and grade their own cards. So a lot of people are going to see this partnership being really nice. Just being able to send cards to PWCC, have them graded, and then them sell them after the fact. But yeah, it'll be. I'm still rooting for CGC. Yeah, my hope in them is slowly dying, but I would still like to see them succeed, and I think this is another shot for them to succeed. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah. Just another interesting thing going on in the industry. All these big players making big moves. eBay Vault, this whole PWCC CGC thing, Golden's Vault thing going on. It's wild out there. A lot of stuff going on. A lot of money coming in. Big money coming in.
Oh, wow.
Oak, yeah.
Last question of the night.
Is it? I don't know anymore. I'm just here.
This is the second to last. There's one more after
Oh
this.
my god. Okay.
I forget whose this even is. I guess
this one was from Mason actually.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'll read the question from Adam. Professor Oak says, what is the best way to get a good deal when buying high dollar or large volume purchases from a seller or game store? Well, Professor Oak, I'm glad you asked. I actually have a video about that if you want to go back in the archive. So the best way to get a good deal on high dollar stuff would be, I think, if you have some mid-range stuff that you're willing to sell to the game store that you don't want, or just duplicates of, or maybe not beneficial for you to try to sell yourself, or it's too much effort, you don't want to do it. Trading stuff in for store credit is a very underutilized and underappreciated aspect of this hobby. To be able to take something of moderate value that maybe is a lot of effort to sell, to take it up to an LGS and say, here, give me 50% of the value or whatever the value is, and stack all those together and buy something that you actually want with that credit, it makes sense to me. And I do see a lot of people do it. And in my card shop candidates, I often talk about the good thing about being able to go into a physical location and look at is that you can see the card in person right then and there and make a determination if you're looking for something that is really in good condition or something like that where you may potentially want to get it graded, or check the centering, make sure that's all good, because anybody can say something's near mint, especially if you buy something modern on TCG Player. Who knows what condition it could be in, especially now with the lax standards for centering. Who knows what you could get on TCG Player if you're buying modern stuff. But if you go to an LGS, you can go in there, see it in person. You can put stuff towards it, so it lessens the impact and it gives you a little bit better deal. And you're also buying it from the store, and you're giving them inventory when you do stuff and trading stuff in. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. I love when people take things on store credit because it's just like free money. It's free inventory that is going towards something that I already have, and everybody's benefiting because you're getting a better deal and I'm moving that thing and getting more stuff in return that assumingly has more value. So that's probably the best way is to just go up there and dump all your mid-range stuff and get that high dollar thing that you've been wanting. And again, it's super fast, super easy, and you don't have to worry about eBay and selling it and the fees and all that. Just dump it on your LGS. No, but yeah, that would be my suggestion, and that's what I have told people to do. If you are eyeing something, and or you want to just search for something that you have to have in a good condition, and you don't want to bother buying it on TCG Player and taking the gamble that it's not as described condition-wise, you can go in and get your hands on it in person and look at it.
Yeah, that's one thing. I think that's definitely one of the biggest advantages to having an actual store is doing that store credit thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That is definitely a huge advantage. But
pretty fantastic. To have people crack packs in front of you and then have them trade those singles to you for more packs. This meeting all heated just thinking about it.
I'm jealous of you there.
Mm-hmm.
For me, Dan, you might want to mute this, but cash or friends and family is how you're gonna get this deal.
Reported on his taxes at the end of the year. Cash is king.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess the only thing I'd add is like occasionally I'll have people come to me. Like I have some higher tier things listed on my eBay, and people will come, what's the absolute lowest you'll take? And I'll just say that's not the best way.
I can't imagine how many times you guys see that on a daily basis.
Yeah. So like if you want to get something high volume that's pretty high dollar, maybe to one or the other, come with like a firm number. Like, hey, I see you got it listed for this. I'm offering this for this and this reason, this recent sale, whatever it may be. Even if you're like off, it gets the ball rolling. Like, what is the absolute lowest you'll take is never, at least from me, it is never going to get you the absolute lowest I will take. I might come back with a number if I'm feeling like just want to like play around a little bit. It's not going to be the best price. And then sometimes they actually buy it and they like think they won the negotiation or whatever. But yeah,
I got him. Got him.
Yeah, code, like master negotiator, just absolutely bending to his will.
So do you guys do, like, if somebody buys multiple things, do you have it turned on where they can bundle it and save whatever it is? I think 5% or something. Is that a thing?
I do that on if you buy multiple quantity of something, like the same.
Oh, okay.
Same card.
Yeah. I have the multi-quantity thing. I think you can do like an order, like if they fill their cart with X amount, I think you can do an order-based discount too by percentage. I don't believe I have that on.
I don't have that one on.
Years ago, I think that was a thing, and I think I had it on. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I should look into doing that, because it's tough though. If you can do a percentage and then have it like have a cap though, because if I don't want them to be able to buy $10-$20 slabs and then buy a $5,000 thing and get like 5% off it.
Sure.
Because like 5% off $5,000 is $250, and they can just fill their cart. Like you gotta watch out for stuff like that. So
that's exactly why I don't do that one.
Yeah,
because and like you'd want it to be, in that scenario, you'd want like they do like purchase 2 items, get this % off, 3 items, this % off, 4 or more items, this % off. So you'd want that 4 or more items to be 10-15%, somewhere around there. But then if they do come along and purchase 3 99-cent cards and then 1 $5,000 card, whatever, that's gonna sting a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure the way that
they
they
might
have
be
it
able
now.
to cap it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's how they prevent that from going on. It's just making it item specific.
Yeah, but I've had times where someone's like, hey, I want 20 of your cards. And usually the quickest way that I come up with, like, say I've got a bunch of CGC9 first edition fossil commons. I want one of every one you have. I just say send me an offer quickly on each. And then if they're listed for like $24.99, I don't even have best offer enabled. But like send me an offer on each, and then I'll reply with a flat 20 a piece or something, whatever it may be. Like, because if they're buying a lot, it costs $4 to ship one card, but it only costs $4 to ship 2 or 3, and then it might only cost $6 or $8 to ship 10 of them or something.
Right.
So I
Makes
pass that
sense
along.
to do that. Yep.
Yeah.
And then one more thing I will add with the volume, like purchasing in volume, even over time, is to just, so online it's hard, but send me an eBay message every once in a while. Hey, I got the package. Thanks for the cards, blah, blah, blah. As I get to know different usernames on eBay, and they continue to purchase from me, I'll give them better deals than I will the random person who purchases from me on eBay, just because that person is consistently coming back to buy from me. So they have a bit more loyalty towards me, I like to think. So I'm willing to give them a little bit better pricing than some other random person.
Yeah. eBay messages are like the bane of my existence. Whenever I see an eBay message, I'm like, God damn it, what happened? They screwed up. What do they want? What lowball are they trying to do? If there's a happy or like a nice eBay message, it genuinely does like brighten my day.
It's because they're so few and far between.
So refreshing to have something nice said. Yeah. I will definitely remember you if you do that.
Yeah. So that's our final like main question, but then we did have the Mexican hipster.
Now we get into all the sub questions.
Oh, that's right. Yes, I did. You did warn me about this one.
Yep.
Does Mason return his shopping carts? Absolutely, every time, without fail.
Loser.
I will even go further. Before I go into the store, I will grab a shopping cart from the parking lot and take it with me into the store, so that poor bastard doesn't have to go out there and get it from somebody else. That's the next level, Nick. You gotta get on my level. If you want to get to sainthood, that's where I'm at.
This came up before too. Like if you see someone like Nick actively abandoning a cart, I don't want to like get stabbed or shot over a shopping cart, but like I'll go take their cart and I'll give them the passive aggressive like stare down, like you lazy bum. Like funny thing too, like cart narcs. I don't know if you've ever heard of cart narcs on Instagram, YouTube.
Yeah.
There's this guy who goes like he literally just goes through some radio station, I think. He like goes through parking lots and he does like a little siren sound and hey, you didn't return your cart. He like calls people out on it and films the interactions. Really funny. Really funny channel there.
I'm glad we cleared it up, and everybody knows now. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Yes, that one. I forget. It's been a long time since that episode, and
we haven't forgot
that one.
Yeah, no, nobody forgot. No, I mean, if you were in the Pokenomics Discord, you would know that is a reoccurring.
Oh
meme.
Yeah.
Oh man.
There's images. Yeah, you're missing out. I'm telling you.
I'm gonna have to get on there at some point. I feel like it'd be way too distracting being in there though.
Oh, it is. It is.
That's why I'm not in there.
Okay, is
that's everything?
One more? That's it?
Whew. We're full screen now.
Oh my goodness.
Now we just have 10 different topics to talk about.
Yeah. We did have a couple topics written down, but the way that it usually goes, like our questions usually touch on all of them. So I don't think we had anything left over, did we? Do you have any pressing?
No, the only one I wanted to mention was the PWCC and CGC, which we talked about already.
One thing even more current than that, I guess. Like I think it came out just today. CGC now grades Topps cards. I know Mason is a huge fan of Topps cards, and he has just mountains of Topps cards to send into them.
CGC would grade anything. What stopped them up to this point from grading Topps cards? Like, that doesn't even make sense. Why is this even news?
We said CGC, not BGS.
Oh, well,
they're not on that level of grading everything.
You're right. But how is this news? Why is this news? Who cares?
Hey, when I send some of my cards in to the PWCC vault for $20, there's gonna be a couple Topps Chromes cards there.
I'm no. Somebody's got to stop the madness on the Chrome cards. Why do people care about these cards so much? I don't understand.
I'm right there with you.
They're not any rarer. They're not like super amazing. Like, what is happening?
I like them, but the prices they're getting are high. Like I don't like them that much.
You also like MetaZoo, so what's the standard there? Like what are we talking?
Fair.
Am I seriously gonna have to go and get my bulk boxes and dig out all these Chrome Topps cards and grade them? Is that really where we're at?
I got a new chase though now. I might be done with MetaZoo, moving on to Bigfoot Fortnite.
Now that you realize MetaZoo's going nowhere.
No lie, I did go on eBay while one of you was talking, and I bought one of each parallel, so I have a full Bigfoot set inbound.
Oh God.
Of course. That's what you were doing over there while we were talking about. I don't even know what. My brain is fried from everything else. I mean, I do have something if you guys want to just keep this train rolling, because I am interested in your guys' opinion, because we talked about this in Pikachu's Instagram, and he had a question from somebody, and they were specifically talking about the Umbreon VMAX, the one where it's sitting on the castle spiral or whatever it was, against the moon. Something to the effect, I don't remember the numbers exactly, so I'm sorry, but something like the PSA 10 for that card is $750, and the raw card is $150-ish, I think. Why are people paying that premium for that 10 when the raw card is plentiful, easily accessible, and obviously as a newer card, it's not a one that has a chance to get really beat up too bad. So you got to presume that there's a bunch of 10-worthy versions of this card. Why do you guys think that extra little premium bump is on a card like that?
I think it's the same thing with every set in every card. Once the first few PSA 10s, or even more so than that, but the first PSA 10 sales go for absolutely crazy money. But then as more and more copies get graded and enter the market, pricing slowly declines and then starts to tank. I'll never understand it, but people just want that first couple PSA 10 copies in their collection for whatever reason. And you're just always so much better off waiting for more supply to enter the market.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, though, is that for this card in particular, it just seems like it is not moving any lower.
There's 552 PSA 10s already.
Jesus.
And it's like an 80-something% 10 rate.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean,
buy 5 raw, spend $50, send the best one.
Chances are you hit it, and then you're good.
Like these are types of plays that I'm not looking at currently, and I didn't even know this was a thing. But hold on, I might go on eBay and buy 20 raw.
Mm-hmm.
I joked about it earlier to some extent, and it's just weird because so much of my business is based on selling graded stuff. But people just way overvalue the plastic and the label and the third-party opinion. People pay way too much for external validation, and having a perfect 10 out of 10 card. It's crazy.
I mean, that was the reasoning that I was giving was that obviously there's people out there paying it. There's people willing to pay that much. So I guess if you truly do value that card and you look at it and you say, okay, this is a perfect copy of this card and it's encapsulated for all of time, it's never going to get worse than this. And I really, really love this card, that it would be worth that price. And Umbreon is like one of the top 10 best well-liked Pokemon. It's the most popular evolution. So I don't rationalize it, and it doesn't make sense to me, but I understand why it's the case.
It's crazy too because the 9s are selling for like 400. What does it go for raw?
It's right around, I think, 150 to 200. Pretty sure.
Let me see how many are on TCG Player.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, here we go. This is the real play before the video comes out.
The cheapest one on TCG Player near mint is $315.
Okay, so it's gone up a little bit then.
Even with that though, I mean,
Oh my god. I mean, because people are probably seeing this and they're like, this isn't making sense. This is stupid. So this is.
I think Evolving Skies is in a weird spot too.
It's
because boxes are going up. People don't know if it's going to get reprinted, which I definitely think it will. But so that might be part of it as well.
I just don't. It's like I was saying, like you're trying to put reason and rational sense with something that is clearly, this is not rational.
No.
This does not make any sense.
And think about the stuff you can buy with $700. It's, I mean, not to get into the whole modern vintage debate. Like, even if you want to stay in modern, I would much rather have 2 sealed UPCs than a PSA 10 Umbreon VMAX.
Sure.
Like, I don't want to start that whole argument. So just staying in ultra modern, I would reach out to my distributor and I would say, hey, give me 10 boxes of Fusion Strike or 8 boxes of Fusion Strike over
Fusion Strike
over a PSA 10, like 8 boxes over one.
Yeah, but like, Fusion Strike, I think I would go with the Umbreon.
Battle Styles, Chilling Reign, any of them.
Did you look up the eBay solds on these, Dan? Did you look at it?
Yeah.
Since May, again, this is only May 5th of recording this. On May 1st, on bids, 874, 790, 798, 730, 790 on bids. Best offer accepted on one that was listed for over 1,000. Best offer accepted for one for 800. And this is in 5 days.
Crazy.
I didn't know this was going on. I didn't know this was a thing.
This many sales for that much, for double the price, more than double the price of a raw card. And
yeah, that's crazy right there.
We just leave that little tidbit with you guys. I'm gonna leave that and let that marinate. Let that marinate for a second and do with that what you will.
Yeah, that's wild. I literally speechless.
Dan's on my website looking to see if I have any.
Yeah.
I'm actually trying to find it on Pokemetrics right now.
That card is out of control. That card is insane. Like that.
Yeah.
And if you don't think Pokemon's sitting here looking at this and going, yeah, I guess people really do like these alt-arts, huh? Yeah.
Oh yeah, just a bit.
No shit. Damn.
Huh, that's crazy.
Well, I didn't mean to pull the brakes on the podcast here, guys. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
we're heading towards.
I didn't mean to shatter your world right here at the tail end.
it never ceases to amaze me. Like it still blows my mind that
Yeah.
I'm coming up on a year in the next couple months, like doing this full time as a job,
Mhm.
and some of the irrationality out there, some of the this like to me that's irrationality
Yeah.
that like makes this not only sustainable but like a very profitable endeavor.
Yeah. I mean,
And
that speaks to the correlation between raw and graded, especially
Mhm.
with modern, where it's like a self-fulfilling. They're very much tied together. If something goes for a dumb, expensive price, graded, that raw card has a very good shot of getting, a very similar grade of a 9 or a 10. Those are inherently tied together, and it pushes the other one up because obviously any sort of opportunity exists. People are gonna go for it.
yeah, I going back to our PSA, what's their long-term price floor? This card came out in 2021 when the cheapest grading available was like 100, and now the cheapest available graded is 50.
Yeah.
This is one card from one set from one TCG. We're not talking sports. We're not talking anything else. There's been 700 copies of this graded at 50 plus.
Yeah.
Like the amount of
In any other scenario, we'd call those people stupid. But look, but look at them.
I feel stupid for not having participated in this. Crazy. Yeah, I don't know. That's wild.
I remember selling that card for $110, close to release or somewhere around there.
And it was probably a 10.
When it was going, yeah. I mean, how many 10s have passed through my hands? I mean, that's what a fool. Because remember the full art, Rayquaza full art VMAX, and that Umbreon were very neck and neck. In fact, it was flopped for a little while, where that Rayquaza was more expensive. Now, the Umbreon has taken far outpaced.
Well, the Umbreon looks way better than the Rayquaza
Oh, yeah.
does.
Yeah.
And if you look at, talking about sharing screen, and then I forgot to hear again. But yeah, if you look on March 1st of 2022, there was 357 PSA 10s.
Yeah.
And then there's 552 on March 29th.
So it's almost doubled since March.
And this is at $50 grading. So these were likely sent back in January, or I guess, yeah, we don't have the data. This is through March 29th. So I don't know what it is today. Pokemon price lags a little bit, but I guess this number is active, I think. So yeah, no, it's not actually. I don't know why it's showing that like it's March 29th. This should be the current number, I think.
Yeah, those are taken off of what PSA has.
Yeah.
Whatever the case may be, that pop is increasing quickly.
And it'll continue to increase quickly.
Crazy.
But it doesn't matter. The card's selling regardless of what the pop is.
It's not going to last forever. Don't be buying PSA 10 copies, Mason.
It is a pretty card, but
Dan's getting enchanted.
that's a lot of money though too.
If I just buy this modern card and I sit on it for 5 years, my 5-year outlook at this trajectory, that's a $10,000 card.
Yeah. Look at this. That is on a rocket ship to the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, like I said, what was it on release right there? The little dip? Close to 100?
This says 212. This only goes back to February.
Yeah.
Well, you got to switch it to 1 year or 6
okay.
months. 6 months should do it.
Yeah, 171 there. 171 looks like the lowest on TCG.
Okay. Wow.
Yep.
Even if you just bought that and they're holding it raw, you're still winning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
Somebody had a galaxy brain. Somebody out there is probably sitting on a bunch of them. Or send them to PSA, clearly. I mean, that's...
Yeah, I haven't been playing in the new... I've been getting my allocation and just selling it sealed pretty much. I've not been opening much of the newest sets, and I've not been speccing on anything raw at release to try to grade and flip. I've not done that in a long time.
Well, if you wanted to know why Evolving Skies boxes are 180, that's why.
Yeah.
That and every other alt art in there is still 60 plus. So
Crazy.
that's where we're at. That's where we're at.
Yeah. The hobby's healthy. There's a lot of people, a lot of demand. They're printing 3-4 billion cards a year. And it's getting absorbed.
That's been my biggest takeaway from this is I thought surely there's no way these cards could hold prices. I thought there's not just a collapse, but just a absolute decimation of pricing for these cards. But they have not. They've been steady, if not increased, which is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, with how many are out there nowadays, it really is crazy.
Guess we're in a good business.
That's all right.
Any other bombshells to drop on us? You just blew my mind.
No. Look, I when he mentioned it, I was sitting there in the IG with my hand falling asleep because I had to hold my phone. I was like, "What the hell is he talking about? Is this even true? Is this guy trolling us?" And then I had my phone, so I couldn't look it up. So I'm just like, "All right, well, I'm gonna roll with it because I don't know any better."
Yeah, that's crazy. Interesting though. I might have to. I got to do my CGC send off next week, but I might have to. Other than my Bigfoot buyout, I might have to make some more plays.
Okay. All right.
Oh man. Well, I think we might have a new record for longest podcast here.
I think
Is
we
it?
might.
I think so.
3.5
hours, 40 minutes.
Probably close to 3.5.
Over 3.5.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this has got to be a record. Not by a ton though. I forget which one was the longest, but this is up there.
I think our Vegas chat was 320 or something.
Yeah, that makes sense. But this was
yes.
Great chat as always. Definitely the first time we've met, and I can't wait till we actually meet in person at a convention. But it's always
definitely
always cool to I mean I've watched so much of your content talking in Discord, but the video chat is the next level with in person at a convention being the final level. But this was great. Thanks again for coming on.
No, thank you guys. I'm glad that you see value in my information that I bring. If not just for that Umbreon little tip.
Yeah.
You can trim this back, Dan, if you want to just take that out of this entirely. Yeah. We can just scale it all the way back and just abruptly end it. Whatever you want to do. Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, Mason rewarding the full listeners, those at the tail end of the retention graph, that tiny little 5% that stays for 3.5 hours.
Where it goes down and down, and it's whoop all the way up.
Yeah.
You know what? We have the new feature now where off podcast weeks we clip out one portion. That might be the portion that gets clipped out.
True. That's true.
A little nugget. All right.
Modern investment. Buy now, Rocket.
Yeah. I didn't see any of these channels talking about that. Where have they been? They've been sleeping.
That is true. That is true.
When does this come out? Does this come out tomorrow?
This comes out tomorrow. Yeah, as long as I can upload it in time. I don't know. We're going to be pushing the limits of my internet upload speeds.
May 6th, watch out for all the other videos that have that in the thumbnail.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
No worries.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you having me on. It's been a lot of fun. Any opportunity to talk nerdy stuff and Pokemon in particular, I would sit here for another 3 hours.
Yeah, and as always, like all the stuff at the end, like, subscribe, go check out Mason. He'll be linked everywhere below, his website, Instagram, YouTube. Great content over there. Check it all out.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on, Mason. Do
I know, Nick.
appreciate that.
I don't see a lot of you, so I'm anytime I get to see it, it's a treat.
Oh, thank you. Likewise. Likewise, for sure.
And Nick, you got a Patreon, right?
I do. Yes, me and Palatown. and
Let me plug it for you. That's fine. Jeez.
Yeah, Mason's already subtly plugged the Pokenomics one a little bit, the Discord there. So
the finest Discord you can even be a part of. Like E4, forget all that crap. You need to be getting Pokenomics, and that's where it's at. You can get
a lot of fun in there.
You can get these types of zingers just all day long.
That's the problem. I'd be in Discord all day long and not doing anything else.
Well, look, I'm in there making one-liners, posting Machoke thighs. I mean, we're having fun. We're having a good time in there.
There we go.
See, now people are interested. They're gonna go. That alone is.
Yeah. Gonna have to pay $10 to see what that's all about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you can't pay for that kind of advertising. You're welcome. All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Have a good night,
everyone watching. Catch you all later.
Bye.